I'm still running, although, as usual, if things are dead for like 15, 30 minutes, then I'll be shutting down. So, a lot of things are dependent on things outside of me. I'm still waking up too. I've had some weird sleep lately, it's been all over the place. That's awesome. For me, the worst part's getting it set up's a freaking pain in the ass. For me, anyway. I don't know much about things like that. All right, dude. See what's going on in the meantime. I don't even know where people go anymore. Looks like Fact Nominal doesn't even have any live streams up anymore. So we got Vegas chat. Not a whole lot going on in there. The usual stuff. Check the White House live. Nothing much going on there. AOC torches Republican pervert Nancy Mace. Vladimir Putin warns West as Russia hits Ukraine with new missile. Already looked into that. Kadyrov blustering and talking shit to the West, saying not a single stone will remain. What a joke. Putin says you can't counter our missiles. Ukraine missile wipes out top North Korea generals, of course. International Criminal Court issued an arrest warrant for Netanyahu. Should have happened a long time ago. As usual, the UN, well, now the UN, basically everyone other than like 4 countries has condemned Israel at this point. Of course, the United States never will because they take money from them. And it should piss off every person that lives in America because it means that your opinion doesn't matter. It means that what you want doesn't matter. Wonder if there's any new updates on Trump cabinet picks. RFK compares Trump supporters to Nazis and belligerent idiots. Sounds about right. Now he works for them. Putin makes a final offer to NATO, or it's World War III. Yeah, apparently it was dug up. It's something he said in the past. Tells you what kind of person he is. He's a flip-flopper. He don't go with where his ideology lies. Well, he's also a crazy person, but it's not about what he believes in. It's where the money is and power. Just as fake as Trump is. Pretty much. He literally thinks that AIDS is a hoax, and he's going to be in charge of frickin' healthcare, or the Health and Human Services, I think it was. Like, this is like some fucking 1984 shit. No, more like idiocracy type shit. Then again, pretty much every cabinet pick so far has been similar. Like Dr. Oz, like the fucking con artist, he's now going to be in charge of Medicare and Medicaid. Yeah, Matt Gaetz was especially problematic. But I think for him, it wasn't about him realizing it was a big joke. I think it was because the scandal came out about him. I don't even know all the details. I didn't look too deeply into it, but apparently he fucking was convicted of some crazy shit. Uh, Rape, sexual assault, something like that. More than likely going to gut much needed welfare plans that help people. I don't know a ton about him either. But the little bit I have dug up, he's not a very good character. And again, it's been a very long time since I've seen anyone who could qualify as a good character as a Republican. And yes, I'm capable of saying people are good people even if they have differing beliefs, but these guys are just pure fucking evil. The sad thing is they're going to be more needed than ever because Trump's going to crash the economy. Well, for anyone other than like the top 5%, according to experts. Even Elon Musk, I can't remember his exact position, but even he has some sort of, it's like weird celebrity shit, like people that have absolutely no clue what they're doing. Which I've always had a problem with. Even like Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's on the left, like celebrities have no business in politics. They don't have the skill set necessary. They don't have a clue what the fuck they're doing. It just, it irritates me. America's become like a fucking, what are those damn, like a reality TV show or some shit. Research as a base rule of thumb returns 300%. What do you mean by that? I don't understand. It's part of, yes, America is a corporation pretty much because oligarchs control all of it, or a vast majority of it. And the Trump thing is basically why he's a con artist. He's conned people into thinking he's a good businessman. He's bankrupted 6 times, I think. I know it's at least 5, but I think it's 6. He absolutely sucks at business. And like his book, The Art of the Deal, wasn't even written by him. It was ghost written by someone else. Um, he's got his famous quote that he started out with a small loan of $1 million. You give me $1 million, I'll fucking increase it by like 100 times with little to no effort. I don't even have to do anything myself. You hire people that know what they're doing. So most average people, if they're able to scrounge enough money together to start a business in the first place, they get one shot and one shot only. If you fail, you fucked up, you might as well just fucking, at least you got a shot. Some people don't. And so Trump had like 6 fucking bankruptcies. Like, think about it. Like, if he hadn't been rich, he would have been fucked. And a lot of the reason why he's actually in debt right now, the only reason why he isn't drowning right now is because he's conned people into thinking that he's great, and he's getting like loans and he's making money just on his status. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, and he's going to gut the Department of Education. One thing that does do is it cements Republican power, because at this point it's clear that lack of education and right-wing bases go hand in hand. The less informed people are, the more likely they are to go right. That's the point I always make, that it's hilarious. Casinos are literally designed to win more than they lose. It's like a mathematical equation. You can't fail it. And even he fucking bankrupted a casino. It's like so funny to me. And then people think he's a good businessman. He's an absolute moron. And I sincerely believe that his IQ is in the 80s. Like, he's not like mentally retarded, but he is fairly close. Experts have agreed for a long time he speaks at a 3rd grade level, and that says a lot. Regardless if it picks up or not, 9:30, which is in about an hour, I'm gonna have to drop regardless. It'll be medication time for Python. Yeah, I'm talking about you. But one of the positive things, kind of flipping gears here, but one of the positive things about the war in Israel, well, it's not really a war, it's a genocide, but Gaza anyway, is that it gives us an opportunity to evaluate the press, I guess, the state of the press. For a long time now, we've been like, the America or the media in America has used the press to attack other countries. Like Russia is a big one. They'll be like, Russia has state controlled media. They constantly lie. Their own citizens don't even know what's going on, which is true. But they use it in a way to like funnel this belief that we are different, that we have complete freedom of press and that we get actual accurate information, but it's not true. And Israel Gaza is the best way to be able to tell that. And it gives you sort of a litmus test to be able to tell who are actual legitimate journalists and who aren't. And it's sad, the results. Like, there's almost no legitimate media in the United States, none that are mainstream. Next week's topic is socialism versus capitalism, or pretty much any other form of economy that people want to talk about if they happen to subscribe to something else. I'm not sure. I haven't really. I've been following a little, but not the Lebanon angle. I don't know anything about that. I do know that happily, almost all of the entire UN has voted against Israel and has condemned them. Many even walked out when Netanyahu tried to speak as like a show of solidarity for Palestinian people. The United States, we are one of the only ones left, and it shows how fucking evil we are. And it also shows that we don't have a democracy, because a vast majority of people in the United States either they don't want what's going on in Gaza. Well, most of them are just direct, like, this is fucking wrong. But it's still, nothing changes because your opinion doesn't matter. Right. Well, at least you're a 5 year ago level, because it's getting bad here. And that's the thing. At least with the United States, they kind of fearmonger and call like the left here and anywhere else like too liberal, too socialist, communist. They'll throw the words out like willy nilly, like in like a fearmongering tactic. When the truth is, the United States has two right wing parties. We don't have a left, or not an official left. When I say official, I mean there's they can't actually succeed because it would be considered an independent party, which is by design. Yeah, that's what I mean. And I think there's like 4 or 5 countries in the entire world that were pro-Israel. One of them, of course, is the United States. I think Argentina and a couple of others were on there. Yeah, it's a great sign because it means that traditional people who always just do whatever the US does, thinking mainly of the UK, now they're like, dude, US, you do some fucked up shit, but this is just too fucking far, man. Like we're not behind this anymore. Like we can't be, and that's great. Yeah, it seems to be happening everywhere, except for in small pockets of the world. It's it's sad. I don't know the entire reason behind it. It's an interesting phenomenon, but also there's a huge tendency against incumbents right now. Like the whole world is going against the status quo, or at least, yeah, they don't want who has already been there, which kind of shows that everyone's dissatisfied. I'm kind of curious to see what China has to say about Putin's posturing lately, because it'll show a lot. Their official words, anyway, will kind of show how they feel. Not directly, because it's never direct, but it always like there's always like a hidden message there. Many would say too much. I use it as a means of, I guess you would call it escaping reality, because I'm not very happy with the state of affairs in my country, and well, yeah, and it's how I've unwind. Many people have told me that I need to stop looking into politics because it's making me go crazy. It does make me angry and everything, but at the same time, I do not subscribe to the belief that ignorance is bliss, and I need to know these things. Well, everyone does. Like, what would the world look like if you only tuned in when you had like positive news? Like, how would that affect people? And like, it would not be a good thing. Hell yeah. I'm a big time computer gamer. I'm a PC master race type guy. I don't do console gaming at all. I love the just insane customization and mods and everything that you can add into like computer games. There's no competition. Hmm. I go off and on usually like by the year. I'll have like different phases. Right now I'm stuck on Warhammer 3 and probably will be for the foreseeable future. It's not a game for everyone though. It's like a in between turn based and live action, because you have turn based RPG elements to where you like build up your empire or whatever and face off against other races and factions. And but then when you initiate battles, that's real time. And it's sort of set up, it's sort of like the Warhammer board game, if you know anything about it. I don't know if I would be the one to ask queries because I'm a hardcore gamer, but I don't know a lot about games in general because I have a tendency to get locked into one game. I don't play like multiple games. I never have. And a lot of what I do know about is MMOs, which they're not for everyone. So I have very limited knowledge. And I don't know a lot about hardware either. But Gad seems to know about all that. In fact, after the last live stream, we played a match of Warhammer 3. Yeah, then you would probably like it if you enjoy the lore and you know about Warhammer because it's set up to be in that world. It's really interesting. I love it. I've not seen a body cam game. Is it new? Hmm. Then whatever you remember, you'll probably be familiar with it. It's a very high fantasy. Total War is the name of the actual game that's been repeated. It's the base game, and then they cut a deal with Warhammer to use their rights. Um, but Total War is like a war game to where it's like strategy, like you set up battle lines, like uh, you'll have like pikemen or swordmen and whatever, and they do well against opposite things. Like archers do well against normal infantry and like large uh, units, whereas like swordsmen are usually like anti-infantry. They're better against other infantry. They'll tear up archers if they can get close enough. So you have to protect certain units with other units, and it's just a big strategy deal. Hmm. I'm gonna have to dig into that, see if there's any video footage of it. I'm sure there is if you've seen something that looks. You said it looks near real. I love it personally, but it can be good or bad. I can sink insane amounts of hours into it. Like it's got that sort of one more turn thing where it's like you have so many different things that you're working on at a given time that you're always looking for like that next. Well, I'm just gonna wait until I get my settlement up to tier 5, and then I can get the best troops. And then it's wait, I can't leave my eastern flank open like this. So you like always, like me anyway, I'm always like one more turn, and then you end up going for hours and hours and hours. Like it goes on and on. It's Warhammer 3, at least Immortal Empires, that game mode is very large, so you can sink a lot of time into it. That can be seen as a downside. It can easily like burn up your time. It's a first-person shooter game. The graphics are amazing. A lot of people have told me that I would love Baldur's Gate 3. I haven't had an opportunity to check into it yet. Again, I tend to get locked into a game. It's good and bad. One, it'll like burn insane amounts of hours, but two, I save a lot of money because I don't go around like next game, next game. I don't play multiple games at a time. I get invested in one usually. But you can go to, let me make sure I get it right. systemrequirementslab.com, and it's got a can I run it deal, and it'll basically read your current specs and everything off of your computer, and it can tell you which games you can run and which ones you can't, so you don't waste money. Kind of curious to see if I can anyway. On Baldur's Gate 3, I would assume so. You do have to run a detection application, and it will oftentimes say that it's infected or something like that. Wait a second. I don't know if I would trust it. It caught something, and there does seem to be a shady file in there. Give me just a moment. There's another one. It says that it's safe. CanIRunIt.com. Is a little bit more popular, although it doesn't pop up on Google, at least on the first page for some reason. Baldur's Gate. Oh, it's the same place. SystemRequirementsLab.com is CanIRunIt.com. I'm just going to have to tell my computer that it's safe. Specky mousepad with a light around the edge. That sounds cool. Video card's good. CPU, RAM, operating system, disk space, all good. Does it not have a recommended? I don't have... For running it on recommended, I don't have enough video RAM. And my CPU is actually a little bit on the low side as well. But I could at least run it on low specs. And it's been said that Can I Run It is not entirely accurate, which it can't be because it's all based off of recommended and minimum specs that games put out. And there's a lot of variation there. But it's a good baseline as like a general rule of thumb, because I don't like to just shoot in the dark and go buy games if there's a high likelihood I can't even run them. Where'd you go, Python? There you are. Freaking burning through the pipe tobacco like no other. So tasty. I did that for a while, and in some ways it's even better. Well, it's a lot larger and it works well. The downside was with my setup, the monitor, TV, whatever goes on my desk, which is like a foot or two, well, probably about 3 feet from where I'm sitting. And it's just too big. The television was like insane. It was killing my eyes. It was fun, but geez, it was hard to deal with. And the TV was so big that it would like hurt you trying to like sit back to like see everything all at once. It's like too much. Yeah, you'll have to purchase those separately. Sometimes they do, but usually you have to have a package deal or something that's set up for it. It's rare. I do prefer desktops though. Laptops to me are only for if you like work or you do something to where you would like to get out and move around, like go to coffee shops and like be able to work in other locations, or you can transfer your all of your files and stuff from like home to work and all that easier. But for gaming, like I game in the same location every day. The tower is like the obvious answer. And I don't like mobile stuff or anything like that anyway. Like, I've never been one to use my phone to even check email or anything. I prefer my desktop for everything. That's just me, though. People are different. It seems like people are falling through the cracks and like have lost like fact nominal and like branched off into different areas again. And every time that happens, we end up losing people. Eventually, I'm going to have to frickin' do some advertisement, which I hate. This is not like a me trying to succeed thing. This is more like entertainment and me like being able to speak my mind type thing. So it's not like I'm like going out of my way to advertise and shit. But when you've only got a handful of people over and over, I'm going to have to do something if I want to keep doing it. We'll see how it goes. I'll do a little bit. I'm not going to go out of my way because advertisement can be a real pain in the ass, but maybe I'll dig into some other live streams and find the more popular ones and set up some sort of cookie cutter advertisement that I can copy and paste or something. I just don't have the time that I used to have. That'd be cool. Always looking for more people on the panel. I don't know what everyone else does. A lot of people are big on in-person buying, but I get almost everything from Amazon. Matter of fact, I got my gaming set up, my computer and everything through Amazon. I still have my old desktop that I used before this one. I keep it as a backup just in case. Because I am the type of person that cannot survive without the internet. Doesn't go well. Understandable. It's all good, Gadwin. What's Blade Chat? I don't even know what that is. Might advertise there. Damn, that's awesome. When Xbox first came out, I got it specifically for Halo 2. Or whichever Xbox Halo 2 was for. I can't remember. Did everyone migrate to there? Yeah, that's what I did. I would go to a friend's house and we would have like we would be separated by just a wall with different like TVs, and we would have our team set up that way, and we would just be talking shit, like screaming out stuff the whole time. It was so fun. Hmm. I'll be sure to remember that. I haven't been following anything on YouTube chats for a while. Yep, that's the same we did. We didn't have more people than that, but that's how we set it up. Yep, exactly the same. That shit was fun as hell. We'd usually be getting drunk while doing it, and it made it a little bit even more hilarious. Wild turkey is one of the few things that I can't do because I got really, really sick on it. And now just the smell of it, like I can't handle it. I think most people have at least one thing that they can't drink because of a bad time. Southern Comfort. Makes sense. I've never been really huge on bourbon slash what the hell is that type of alcohol called? Whiskey. I've always liked Captain Morgan, and different types of rum have always been my preferred. Damn, dude. Rough. I've only got like 20 minutes, but if you want to pop up, you can.
Had to warm up my vocals in your studio.
Warm up your vocals. I don't prepare for anything. This time I literally woke up, and it takes me like an hour or two to wake up. I'm not like most people. So I'm like half out of it, and I just turn on, and I'm already in the studio waiting. Like I don't prepare for shit.
Yeah, I'm the same. My cousin used to call it morning brain because I'd show up to work and I'm just like, durr, just for the first hour or two.
Takes me forever. I don't know why. Like I can't wake up. Like some people wake up and they're like they are all day. Like boom, ready to go. I can't do it.
Well, if I get up early enough before work, but I mean, when I worked like concrete, I had to get up at like 4:30, 4 in the morning. That fucking sucked.
Sounds like it. Damn. So we got the Russia deal with Biden giving the green light for long range missiles, and I'm sure you've at least heard something about it, unless you've not been following anything.
Oh, you should see your little news chat feed in the Discord, Ration. I've been going at it for a while.
Really? You guys don't usually go at it.
Oh, it's been for 2 days now or so.
What about?
Mostly hit. Well, he's on Gaza yet, and I'm like, dude, there's like a nuclear conflict about to start. This is like a lot more important than Gaza right now.
So I understand where he's coming from because he's fought that fight for a long time. And he's like, at this point, he's like deeply, it's personal.
He's very heavily invested.
Yes. And I would say the same thing too. Like, Palestine is a big deal. And it's a big deal, especially in the context of being an American citizen, because for not the first time, but it's more obvious than it's ever been that we are not a democracy, that our opinion does not matter. Because most of the American people are not like okay with the situation with Israel and Gaza. Yet it doesn't matter. And it's never mattered. Our what we want and what we think is irrelevant. And now it's extremely obvious. And it's also extremely obvious that, and I said this a little earlier, what we've always talked shit about, like Russia, North Korea, China, is their lack of press freedom. And this is showing us that we don't have what we claim to, because the way that mainstream media mainly covers Israel is obviously like something's fucking up. Like they're being told what to say and what not to say, because at this point you can use it as a litmus test. Like whether they claim that Israel is staging an obvious genocide against Palestinians is like an indicator of whether or not they're legitimate news or not. Like there's so much evidence at this point.
There is something weird just going on in the world. There's just something weird in the wind. Like I don't know how the. It's like they want humans to kind of die off in a sense. Like they don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Like the
Well,
ones at the levers of power who could do things, they just don't want to do anything. They just want to kind of let a culling of sorts, like a small bleeding, like 1,000 wounds everywhere.
maybe there may be more to it, because as the general populace, we're always privy to the least amount of information. So there's a whole lot of shit that's possible, but
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Like with advancements in technology, I mean, we're advancing so quickly, and once we get to the point of AGI, it's going to start advancing so quickly, it's going to displace millions, if not well, billions of people. And what I mean, people need a purpose. If they don't have a job, a lot of them they'll just go crazy,
mhm.
and then you're just going to have chaos everywhere.
I
And
am not one of those people. I'll be one of the
oh,
happiest fuckers ever.
I'm the same too. But maybe they could have an AI algorithm that's already sorting through the people, like already has a list of, okay, these people are good with this future, these ones aren't, and just gonna like,
Right. Well, it depends on how it shapes up. If we still have capitalism in its current shape, then everything, like in terms of production, will be as it is, but they will hold all the power and the economical power, which means we're fucked.
but
Like
then the
we're
economy stops because nobody buys anything, because nobody has
Mhm.
any more purchasing power.
That is true. So to some extent, something has to be done. There'll have to be like a universal basic income. There's no way around it. Like
Uh,
if people are replaced, and they will be, it's already happening. Like there has to be something like that. Like it's the only way people can survive.
but looking at like climate science, they have more insight than we do, like the oil industry and all that stuff. They could be trying to basically stockpile as much as they can because they know the horrors that are coming.
Mhm.
And they'll probably build like arc cities almost. Basically, the rich are allowed in, but nobody else is. And when shit really gets bad, the famines start and like everything goes tits up. I mean, they'll be in their little safe bubbles, and everybody else is gonna just tear up each other apart.
Mm. I would hope, and that might actually be what happens, but I would like to have a grain of hope that people will, as they're fucked, like me, for example, I want to fight against what made it happen in the first place, which are the rich fuckers that are safe. And I will do everything in my power to take them fucking down.
Well, Rich and I, or yeah, Rich, Rash and I are talking about because they're like I was like getting ready for your bunkers and stuff, and then the rich are already kind of fleeing Moscow. Like all the oligarchs, all the important people are getting out of the main cities, so they're probably running for their little bunkers, and the rich are probably doing the same. But Rash was saying about security forces just had a thing about putting shock collars basically on the security forces, so that way they don't overthrow the rich people and take all their stuff in the bunkers.
Wow. Damn. That's fucked.
Like this is some like totalitarian fucking 1984 shit going to happen.
Yeah, well, it's we're already like before this current stage. Like some people are saying that Biden threw up a fuck you to Trump because he's trying to make him look bad. What I believe, and I'm not a Biden fan, but I really do believe that he thought that Trump was going to say like you're on your own to Ukraine, and he thought that was the last thing you could possibly do to help.
Well, that we know of. See, now we do have a thing where we do let them do things, but we don't. No, the news doesn't report it until the first attack hits.
Hmm.
So we don't know what all authorizations they actually have to do what.
That's true. Hmm.
I mean, we've been playing this shadow game with Russia for what 80 years now,
Hmm.
something like that. I mean, it they're good. I mean, after you looked at all the Russia funded campaigns of people in the United States, all these YouTubers are backed by Russian money. Trump was getting Russian money. I mean, they're deliberately trying to weaken America, and by putting a bunch of stupid people in charge of everything, it does deteriorate our democracy, our strength as a nation.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, and also and if you look at it in the broader picture, the tactics that American capitalists use against the people can be used by people outside of America against America as a whole, and that is divide and conquer. The rich people funnel they want a lot of the news in the media, like the lies about like migrants eating cats and dogs and shit, like all that fake crap that gets made up is intentional to keep us divided because we are like fucking Republican idiot pieces of shit, and they're like fucking liberal woke ass blah blah blah. We're not focusing on the real problem, which is fucking the wealthy.
yep,
And
exactly.
so the world can do that to America as well. China's been doing it for a long time, and they're winning.
See, that's what I laugh when some people bash communism. China is actually saying, "Hey, we're communism," and they're the fastest growing country. They're the largest growing economy. They're like owning it on many levels.
Hmm. That is absolutely true, and I think it's funny as well. But it is worth noting they're not exactly. They claim to be communists, but they're not. They're like a strange hybrid capitalist model. Like I don't know what to
Yeah,
even
so
call
like
them.
when it comes to energy and a lot of the big things that like the natural resource gathering and all that stuff, the state holds like 51% of the shares in it. So
Hmm.
therefore it holds control over it. So that way if it needs to actually issue a dictatorial issue straight down the line, it can get down there and just done. There is no bureaucracy bullshit. It's done.
That is one positive way of looking at it. However, you have to trust whoever the state is or whoever controls the state. And I
Yeah.
personally like I believe in a lot of things that are communistic in nature, I guess you would say, but I do not agree with the state controlling the means of production. And I
Yeah.
believe the workers should control the means of production. And that's what, if you take out all the shit that we added to it, that's what communism was initially all about. It does not have to be regulated by a state necessarily. And I think that that opens up corruption. And that's what's happened historically. Anytime you give one person or a small group of people that amount of power, it's going to lead to bad shit. Always.
Well, anytime you put rules in place to stop something, people are gonna find ways around that.
That's true. Well, it can curtail things to a certain
Yeah.
extent, and then you have to constantly add new regulations as new shit crops up.
Yep.
It's the
It's
only
just
way.
it's this endless game of just cat and mouse kind of like
And that's why I'm not a small government guy, because small government only benefits the wealthy. Because, well, right now, we don't have that small of a government, and we're already fucked by the wealthy constantly. What do you think's going to happen when there's no regulations, no nothing to keep them in check?
Well, I think that's where we'll have if we don't go to where they just kill us all off in like some culling or something, or just let us all die, we'll have some kind of like advanced tech future maybe, where each person will have like a device was basically tied to you that can't be tampered with, and like a blockchain secure, and
Mm-hmm.
then you could just vote through that, and it'll be just like an AI that could just issue orders down, and we all can just cast our votes for what we want and stuff like that.
We could create that now.
Uh, I would say there'd be a lot of security risks. Russia,
Mm,
Israel, many of
that's
those.
true. And there's a lot of people, like huge, like my aunt, most of my family is all talking about like how it's so great that we're going to be not globalist anymore. Now, I'm not huge either way. I'm not like hardcore pro globalism, but what people don't understand is globalism is what made us the powerhouse that we are.
I
Almost
know.
almost zero of our wealth comes from here. Our wealth comes from fucking over other countries in Latin America and Africa, stealing their resources and
What
shit.
what
That's
what
where our money comes from.
our main thing was though, so we use this great growth model actually. So you want to grow your nation quick. So we came out of World War II. We need to take well, we turned all of our factories in the military production, and then we had to turn that back into civilian production. We got all the well, we need people to have sons though too to fill the
Mm-hmm.
well. We just made it so everybody could work. So everybody kind of gained equality because lack of men, because dying in war and stuff. And then we had to rebuild the country. So everybody got farming. We produced tons of food. We grew our population really quickly, and then we started making excess food, and we started exporting that to all kinds of countries, and then building up their populations, and then we secured trade networks with them. So as we put them through an industrial revolution, like India and such, we actually us buying stuff from them actually pushed them through that industrial revolution, which advances their society as a whole.
It's mutual benefit. That's what global trade has always been. That's the number one rule in business. Like, before the United States would even conduct a fucking deal with, say, Israel, India, as you said, you would be like, okay, you have something we want. We have something they want. And we benefit in exchange. There's many things that other countries do, and people don't understand this, that we either won't or can't do. A lot of the goods that come from China, we cannot make at the price that they sell it for.
Yeah,
And
I,
so
I
it's
made the
it's
argument with
mutually
somebody
beneficial.
because China has a lot of rare earths. China's a
Uh-huh.
very large area and it has a lot of diverse biomes basically in its borders. So therefore, it gets access to a lot of rare materials, rare earths. And they were just putting bans on America already for certain rare earths that we need for microchips and things like that
Yep.
because we brought microchip production back to America.
And that's what I called the moment Trump floated that fucking, was it 60%? I
Yep.
think it was 10% on everyone else, 60% on China. That's the stupidest fucking. You want to start a fucking trade war with the person that keeps us afloat, the country that keeps us afloat more than anywhere else, more than anyone else. We are so reliant on China. And now, I can't remember his name, the Chinese leader dude.
Xi Jinping.
Yeah, Xi Jinping said that he's already going to do exactly what I said he was going to do. He's going to put tariffs on the soybeans and corn, which our farmers produce and send export to China. Like, we're not going to win this.
Well, he
There is
canceled
no
a lot of the
winning.
contracts too, and China's now a step. They're going to do what we kind of did, but they're doing it with Africa. So they're
Mm-hmm,
investing millions of was it yuans? I think
mm-hmm,
that's their currency, into Africa and building up their infrastructure to produce them food for China
mm-hmm.
and South America as well.
Well,
They
they've
push it
been
down there.
working on this for years, and that's the benefit of having their system to where they don't have 4-year windows. They can plan long term, and they've been planning for the possibility of Trump for many years, and they are not relying on us anymore. They don't need us. I mean, we help them, but we're not necessary for them to keep chugging along. We
Trump
are.
is kind of like our Caligula moment.
Yeah, he really is. It's fucked. And
The first time was a Nero moment, and now this is the Caligula, just kind of just the decimation of the empire.
mhm. And that's why I hate it, because my family and everybody lives here and I live here, but at the same time, from like the grand scale, I kind of see it as like our just desserts, because we have fucked the entire world over and over and over.
But we've also been the savior many times.
It's true, and it's certain conflicts. A lot of times we claim that we're the savior and we're really not. We're actually in it for personal
If
gain.
not like World War II, if
World
not
War
for
II
us,
was legit. That we actually was a savior to a certain extent. Some of it was actually Russia. Russia played a big role in winning World War
oh
II.
my! But they were just a meat wall basically. They were losing
True.
heavy. If we wouldn't have
That's
came
true.
in from the west or what? Yeah, west.
That is true. But I think that that's like an exception. Like, that's not the norm with our conflicts.
And like Korea, the Korean War, UN called us in to kind of settle that, or North Korea would have took all that.
True, I do think we went too far though. We unleashed it. We did what Israel is doing to Palestine right now, but not to the same extent. We weren't starving people and shit, but we bombed everything. We unleashed more bombs than has ever been dropped in recorded
War
history.
makes monsters out of men. It's easy to look back and say, "Wow, we did some horrific things," but go put yourself in that man's shoes who was in that jungle being bombed every day, shot at. You're gonna
I,
start doing some
I
twisted shit.
understand, but what, from the United States point of view, not South Korea, but from the United States point of view, we could easily win that without really much collateral damage or anything. But we didn't even try. We just went
Well,
in there and blew everything up.
you know why? Because a lot of the people who fought in Korea were familiar with World War II and the Pacific Theater. Japan was a motherfucker to fight.
Mhm.
They were ruthless to the. I mean, they
Do
would.
you mean like guerrilla tactics?
Oh, like if you looked at the end of the Pacific War with Japan, we were like just firebombing them every day because they would not surrender whatsoever.
Hmm.
And then we just nuked them, and that was just they were like, okay, okay.
Right. Yeah,
They
it's
were
true.
eating people in the Pacific, like they were capturing U.S. Marines and eating them, thinking they would get their powers.
Have you heard about that? It was a dude, I think it was a Japanese soldier that spent decades on an island or something thinking that
Yeah.
the world was ongoing.
Yep.
That was crazy.
I mean, the world is so large, but yet so small.
Hmm. It's interesting stuff. Yeah, this is a big moment though. Like, we're potentially hitting World War III right now.
I know. I was thinking, I was like, damn, I'm living through like how many historic freaking moments my little lifetime, like
Hmm.
the COVID, all the market crashes, like
I think a lot of it is it's not coincidental. It's because we're a dying empire, and every dying empire will not fucking just go quietly. It won't happen. I think that
yeah.
that's a big part of it. I mean, there's also Putin. That things just lined up. He's not a very good person,
Well,
obviously, and
espionage and propaganda has always been their thing.
yeah, that's true. But yeah, like I think it's all like other than COVID. COVID was kind of like a wrench in history. But I think most of the bad shit or the conflicts and stuff are all, most of them are tied to us kind of losing our power. And
Well,
we're,
and Russia. Russia is
and
the
Russia.
backer of a lot of the conflicts in the war. So, like Syria, it's Russia on one side, America on the other. I mean,
True. And they always backed fucking dictators.
so that's why I see if Russia would
Although, so do
fall,
we.
if Russia would fall, though, that would mean all the Russia-backed states would fall, and then therefore the American ones would succeed, which would then probably establish some kind of democracy or some shit, and we would see a peace more so across the world.
To some extent, yes. I don't know if it would be good or not because historically, Japan is like an exception from World War II, but most of the places that we have went to war with don't do well afterward because we kind of make them pay. I know war's expensive and all that, but we make them pay for what we did. Like, so they kind of get fucked, and we also take their resources, and they are like perpetually stuck and never being able to get out of like third world country status.
Well, maybe our generation has to step in and make the changes where, hey, this isn't the case.
Well, the only way it'll happen is, and this, I've said this about everything, like money and politics, everything. It'll only happen if enough of us get pissed off and say, this is fucking bullshit. We're done with it.
Well, and
Otherwise,
the
it's
rich, we need money out of politics.
well, that's
And
what
the
I mean.
media.
Yeah, absolutely.
We
That's
need to
what I
break
mean.
up the media groups. There's like 4 or 5 guys that own all media, like
Yep.
CNN,
Four
Fox.
own all the mainstream media.
Yeah.
Like 6, I think, own pretty much everything. And there's
Yeah.
only like a handful of pockets of independent journalists, like secular talk, that exist.
That's where it comes into that 1984 thing, like Big Brother, he's controlling the whole narrative of everything.
Yep. Well, that's why I've even kind of been the same. Like within the last 10 years, I've made a lot of these cases that like you can't ever trust these dictatorships and everything, which is true because they don't have freedom of the press, and that's hugely important. But neither do we. Like that's what I've recently come to realize. Like if we did, then these, I don't know if it's they're bought off, I don't know if they're given mandates by the government, I don't know why, but they don't report the truth. So why is that? It's a big question, and it matters. It's huge because it's fundamental to how we think as Americans and how we think of our own society. Like something's up. There's something wrong.
It's kind of the Romans kind of had this too. It's the age of decadence too. So you have a whole bunch of elites think themselves better of everybody. They just party all the time. They don't really do anything other than just live like leeches off society. But the moral decay and everything just seeps from the top down.
Mm-hmm. Well, I get that, but that you think is related to why the media is not legit?
Well, because you gotta think that like they don't even talk like they're humans anymore. They talk like elites now. All the people on TV, they're millionaires and stuff like that. Like Tucker Carlson was like multi-millionaire. They're not
Yeah,
even like it's not even like they went to a local university, actually became, working for the network. They actually know the struggles of being born in like a middle class or anything. They're all these Ivy League, born to rich families. Like that's all of our media spokespeople anymore.
that's true. That is a factor. But it's more than it's systemic in nature, and the reason why I know that, like at the very least, it has to do with the rich people that own the companies, because you can tell just by like doing very basic research on like again I
Rupert
like to
Murdoch.
use I like well yeah, but like looking at like Gaza as that's the best example I can think of because of how obvious it is. Look at their wording. Look at how they omit certain important details to like push a certain narrative. All of them, CNN, BBC, Fox is obvious. Like I don't need to tell anyone that that's fake, but like all of them, they all do it, and it's like it's purpose. It's intentional. So it's
Hey,
I don't know.
Travis, hey, Gadwin.
What's
Howdy, Andy.
Good.
I was,
I'm glad I
I
caught.
haven't
I'm
talked
glad
to
I
you.
caught you. I didn't know if I was going to be able to catch you, Travis, but I'm glad I did.
I was actually going to shut down like 4 minutes ago. I'm going to run another 30 minutes.
All right. Well, that's cool. I'm glad I got to see you at least.
So
Dude,
you're in Blade
lately-
Runner?
Huh?
So are you in Blade Runner with everyone else?
Dude, that's where everybody pretty much moved.
I don't have a
Where
clue. I
you're
haven't
not,
followed
you don't, where do you go if anywhere, Drops?
nowhere. I don't chat anymore. I don't have as much time as I used to. Plus, I'm really hardcore on Warhammer 3 right now.
Trump. Actually, I mean, look, I am anti-video game, but dude, if you're off chat, I think that's a good thing, dude. You know, like today, I had shit to do. I'm like, when I'm not on chat, it's because I got other shit to do, real shit, and that's not a bad thing. It's like when I don't see people, oh man, so and so, I haven't seen them around. Actually, part of me is glad. But listen to this. I know I'm interrupting, but you mentioned Blade Runner, so I'm gonna say this, and I'll be quiet a second. I've been going to this other chat called Las Vegas area or something. Vegas. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, I've been there a few times.
Dude, these people, I mean, they think they're tough, but it's just, an abundance of trolls, and, but man, there's a bunch of them that are in this streaming, they're in a war of streaming, and all gossiping about each other. And like me as an independent type person, I get in trouble too. Oh, I saw you on this one. I saw you on that one. Shit, man. I go talk to anybody. I talk to white white evangelists. I'll talk to freaking trannies. I don't give a fuck. I'm trying to gain information.
You better be careful. You show up on this one, you're a socialist, Andy.
Dude, yeah, well, I've been called worse now because, I mean, believe me, I mean, y'all probably got a little taste of me over the years, but man, like over there, shit, man. Y'all think y'all playing with somebody that don't give a fuck, which I don't to a certain extent, but I know how to play the game. All this calling me a racist and Nazi shit and a pedo. Yeah, it's ineffectual. You're gonna have to beat me with some logic and make me look stupid. Then I'll congratulate you.
Right.
Anyway, I'm sorry I missed out. So it's about socialism.
Oh no, that's next week. I
Oh, okay.
was mainly joking about that. Next week is going to be capitalism versus socialism or any other economic theory or whatever that people think would work best.
Right. Yeah, that reminds me. I think it might be Odyssey who's in the audience. I thought that was tonight, and somebody in Blade Runner corrected me. So I'm gonna say this much: I really don't know that much, but I'm gonna come hang out on panel and hopefully learn something. I'm gonna try not to fight or argue. I'm gonna try to learn.
What's up? Cool. How you doing, Andy?
I'm doing good, Gadwin. How are you?
Feel tired.
So what? Tired?
Yep.
I'm a little tired myself. I had to go to the doctor and shit today, which, whatever. It's not the best activity, but, I went and did some shit afterwards, so.
Raining here, so it's just that dreary kind of, don't feel like.
Oh, I hate that. It is chilly here. Like, I have shorts on right now. I'm guessing it's like in the 50s, but or low 60s, but it's chilly. It's telling me cold weather's coming.
It was snowing this morning. I walked home in the snow.
That makes no sense to me. The only time I saw real snow is when I went on vacation in Northern California. But here, shit, man. You scrape a little off the sidewalk, it melts in your hand before you can see it.
I don't like it. Most people love it. I hate it because it keeps me from going where I need to go.
I hear that, man. I can't imagine having to shovel snow or shit. My car is covered with snow. I have to scrape off the windshield.
Well, it's not. That's just a minor inconvenience. It's mainly the roads. Like some countries have heated roads and shit. We don't. Like, it don't take a whole. If it's a decent amount of snow, there'll be at least a thin layer of ice on the actual road surface, and it's dangerous as fuck.
Hell yeah. Shit, well, you ought to see down here. Yeah, down here it's a freaking joke because we're fucking stupid to start off with. You want to see us trying to drive on the ice? I can't remember Years ago, I sat on my front porch. It was like better than chat watching people trying to drive on a icy road because we don't know. We're too stupid to even stay home.
We've
That's what
got
I
a
do.
lot of the redneck types around here that always have like these 4-wheel drive big ass trucks and they're going like 70 miles per hour. And I take great pleasure. Maybe I shouldn't, but
Oh
I take great
yeah,
pleasure in seeing them wreck because it don't matter
I would
what the
too.
fuck you're driving, dude. If you have a solid sheet of ice, you could have fucking 10 wheels and you're still going into the fucking ditch.
See, I
Like,
never had.
Right? What did they don't they call it something asphalt? I'm sorry, Dadwin. Go ahead. Oh, black ice, black ice.
Yeah,
that's a common one. Yeah.
I always liked the little front wheel drive cars, like my Acura Integra. I would get that out in like fresh powder, find the church parking lot, and then I'd sit there and do donuts and all kinds of drifting, all over, like wah 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 wah, wah, and just making
Now,
figure eights.
I think they're better than
I would
anything.
try drifting in the snow. I wouldn't try it on dry asphalt. I would try it on like
Yeah,
snow or ice.
you're just gonna break your car, fuck up your
There you
tires.
go.
I
I
mean,
would
think
do it when
smart.
I was younger. Now, well, okay, if I was younger or I was financially stable. Right now, if I lose my vehicle, I'm fucked.
Well, that's
It
I
must be
fucked
a
myself
popular
many a
thing.
times. I was young, dumb, like, hey, I'm gonna do some burnouts. Blah, 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 boom, the engine blows up. Fuck.
Yeah.
Hey, exactly. I can hear it going on around here, the screeching from time to time. I'm like, hell, if I had a nice car, like a $80,000, what is it, Dodge, whatever it is, or Charger, dude, I'm not gonna fuck it around, burning out in circles and shit. I'm at least straight line, but dude, I ain't doing all that whipping my vehicle and putting that undue strain on everything.
Well,
What
some
you,
people, I don't think this way, but some people feel like the only reason why you have something that nice or that powerful is to show it off or use it in some way. So you're not allowed to like break speed limits and shit. So like they're like, well, I'm gonna break the law, and like, why else would I own this? Like, if I
Yeah,
can't use it, like a fucking Ford Pinto 70s model can get you from point A to point B and work fine. But if you've got a
and that's what I
fucking
am. I'm a point A to point B kind of guy.
that's
what,
how I am. But like,
we're practical people.
yeah, but some people
Yeah,
like their power and their horsepower and all that. And if you do, I can kind of understand it. Why would you even get it if you're not going to use it? I would at least fucking do some serious acceleration from red light to red light or something like that.
What,
I mean,
like,
yeah,
if I had the money
yeah.
to buy something, like I want a Skyline GTR, like something like that, like all
yeah.
special, I'd want to have a track that I could go to that I could just rip, and actually just do racing.
Hmm. We
Right.
do have a
Hey,
drag
I
strip
agree.
around here. That's pretty common.
We have a nice track around here. It's about it's about half an hour away, but it's a closed track. It's not just a loop, but it's got like a little shape. They mostly do motorcycles on it, but I think it's designed to do cars too. But it doesn't have like it's all flat. It's not like at an angle in the curve, so I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's a street course. But they'll have
Right.
EMTs there. They'll have, people to help if you crash. If you're out in the street, it's gonna take time. If you crash, it's who knows how long it's
Right.
gonna be to.
Well, like I said, I've been to the track a few times. They ride 650s, and it's pretty intense. I like motorcycles, and yeah, it's a big to do. They have vendors, ambulance, da 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 da. But I've never seen anybody hit. Hurt. I've seen people go down, but I've never seen anybody like go off in an ambulance. But it's not my thing, but it's cool to see that there's actually people that ride these rice burners or whatever and actually go to the track and shit. It's good to see. I mean, if you're going to wear a leather suit, go to the track on the weekends at least.
Yep. Make it a hobby. Make that. And, it'll keep you out of trouble too.
Right, right,
You'll do it right. You'll learn from people. You'll get connections who will hook you up.
right. No, I'm glad to see it because I used to be a pretender like that. And I rode around with pretenders, before they had a track. But oh yeah, I'm a fucking road racer. No, you're not. You're just a goofball that pretending you know something. Road racing, it ain't my thing. I mean, it looks like scary fucking shit.
Yeah, I've done some.
But it was fun to watch. I enjoyed watching that shit. Now on TV, I probably wouldn't, but no, it was. I've gone there, with buddies that ride. They race or whatever.
My sister's boyfriend and my two other friends went to go get beer after her was already drunk one night, and he was coming back acting like a little race car. He went through an S turn like 80 mile an hour, and the car got wobbly, and it tipped up on the side, smacked the roof into a tree, bowed around the tree, and then came down. And it flipped around, and then the bottom of the car bowed around the tree, and then my one friend popped out the sunroof, and then it fell on top of him. The two other ones got ejected out of the car.
Did it kill either one of them?
No. Surprisingly, they're
fucking lucky. They're lucky.
The sunroof, he was life flighted. He had like a 4% chance of living that night. The two got ejected, like they flew like 60 feet out of the car, just like little projectiles right out the windshield.
Lucky.
Yeah.
Because I know I've seen that telephones and trees, man, they kill people. I've seen it. I've seen it around the pole in person.
Like, it was insane just seeing how the car was just bent into almost like a U shape.
Exactly. I've seen it. I've seen it on TV. And I mean, look, I'm older than you guys, but I guess, you become more and more, to use the word conservative, I'll just say refined, because I think about it sometimes. Like when I lived overseas, I rode dirt bikes for 4 years. And we used to run through the jungle. The trails were through the jungle. And everywhere you go, to the left and right of you are trees. You're continuously in trees. Dude, if you fly into one of those, man, you're going to die. But I never thought about it. And the locals, their risk level is so fucking high. But I'm lucky I'm alive. I mean, dude, I'm doing like 30, 40 on the dirt, going at trees. I mean, like, 2 feet, trees everywhere, 2 feet apart, everywhere, thick and dense.
You ever see those roads where they're like taking buses and trucks along like a cliff's edge?
Oh, dude, I watched those videos. That shit, man, this shit's whack. Hey, I tell you what, y'all have enough money to make it a few feet wider?
Like, what the fuck are they thinking? Wow.
Man, there's this one road, Gad, where I lived in Indonesia. It took about 3 hours, which means it was probably about 30 miles. But, people coming at you head on, constant horns. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure you've seen videos where it's just they're beeping and shit all the time.
Madness.
It is. It's madness. And I've had drivers, I ain't driving that shit. But like the horns, and they blink their lights. There's some kind of code they do, like, because I'm telling you, the passing is wacko. They pass the dude. It's sick, but nothing like this cliff stuff. But still, just if you see something in India where they're just going, all over, man. When you're in the vehicle, it's not a good feeling.
Well, if you ever come up to Pennsylvania riding, just watch out for locust trees. There's some bitches that have thorns on them like 2 inches long.
Oh, yeah, see, shit like that. See, now that I'm older and I think about shit, like I think about losing my legs now. I used to not give a fuck. Nothing's going to happen to me. But now, like before I leave a light, I make sure nobody's coming. I do not want to get T-boned on a fucking motorcycle.
I've seen a lot of people around here, especially on the Blue Ridge Parkway, get fucked up on motorcycles because people.
That sounds like a place people would visit to ride.
It is. People come out of state to ride on the Parkway because it's beautiful and it's wide open, but it's on the mountains, and if you miss a turn, you're fucked. You're going down a damn cliffside pretty much. And also,
And I
people
watched
have a
video.
tendency not to see people on motorcycles. I don't know why. It's like people don't
It's
see
a
them.
visual thing. It's a mental thing. Like so when you pull up, you're looking for a car. So you tell your brain look for a car, but you're not thinking motorcycle. So your brain just doesn't register it.
That makes sense.
Agree. I
So
agree.
yeah, it is very dangerous. You got to be careful as fuck on a motorcycle.
That's why they do. They have like stickers in a lot of places now. So they're putting signs up, "Watch for motorcyclists" and stuff like that. To get your brain to think about it, so then that way you're looking.
Makes sense.
Let me add this to the whole thing too, because I've been slightly guilty of doing this. In certain situations, people will start riding beyond their capability. Like I call it canyon ride, going down, like you said, some scenic place with cliffs going down hundreds of feet. Dude, if you don't know how to take a curve properly, just putt around the curve on your motorcycle and enjoy yourself. Just because your friend's ahead of you, don't risk your fucking life trying to do something you're incapable of.
See, that's why I like the dirt bike. I'd get it out in the hay fields and just give it all hell where you're getting down, going around turns, leaning almost your knee touching the ground, just ripping the hell around.
Right. See, now, like just pure dirt, which I've been in pure sand and mud and shit. It is what it is. I was earlier just reflecting back to, man, a tree. I mean, if you go off, you're looking at a broken shoulder, broken neck, you're going to get hurt. The odds are. Like, I fell in sand, it's like, man, that was nothing,
Yeah, you fall on a hay field, it's nothing. It just slides. You just slide.
Right. But, man, you were making me think of something. About sand. It's like, man, a patch of sand, just say you're on a single track and you hit sand. That's a freaky feeling, but it's scary. For me, it was scary. But the best thing I found to do is just fucking wind that bitch up and go. And it'll just skate, but you'll feel in control. But
I've never ridden anything like that. I'd be afraid, especially knowing me. I have a tendency to like just be very impulsive. I'd probably do something stupid, and I don't think motorcycles are for me.
Yeah, I don't get on a street bike. I will not. Nope. I've seen what I've done with 4-wheelers on the street. Nope.
Right. Well, and like I said, I agree. But there's, you can get a lot of horsepower. Like I've been to the showroom. If you got $12,000-$15,000, and of course you can finance, you can get on one of the fastest production bikes ever made. For 15,000, you can be like the fastest person that But that doesn't make you
a grave.
That's not a good idea for me, because I'll do it. Like I'll be on the interstate and just not be thinking, and I'll get an impulse, and I'll be like, you know what? I'm invincible, and then I'll fucking floor the motherfucker and just fly through traffic. That's how I am. Like a bad idea.
Right. And just think about somebody 25 years old, has a construction job. Oh, I'm going to finance me a fast, badass bike, 300 a month. Bam, bam, bam. All of a sudden they went from, buying, like I said, a super bike as your first bike. It's like, shit, I ain't playing around. I'm getting the baddest or whatever. Dude, you're playing with your life, because it happens here every couple of years. Like on the elevated expressway, somebody will go over the edge, can't make a curve, and bam, they wind up flying over the edge. Every 2 or 3 years. Huh?
It happens pretty frequently.
Yeah, well, I think in your area, I don't know. I like... Yeah, what was the name of the place? I went to on my honeymoon up there somewhere in the mountains, because I know I went to Asheville. I think you're up there around that area.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I mean, it looked beautiful. Like it'd be great, like to get on and to go tour and look at the leaves and stuff, or ride the mountain curves and shit. I remember I went through one mountain pass, the fog and the snow and shit. It was fucked up. Going through the top of the pass, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people don't do that anymore. So like when I was growing up, even before I was even born, my grandparents every winter, everything construction wise pretty much shut down. So they'd pack up the kids and they would get everything and they would go out west and travel across the whole United States for the winter and then come back when spring started.
That's cool if you're able to. That's like when I think a snowbird is like, they go down there semi-retired or what have you. They have the capability to move to Florida for winter and then go back where they were, when winter hit.
And then my
I mean,
grandmother, she started recording it and stuff like that. So they'd actually go to like Native American tribes and stuff like that, and they'd get tours and stuff like that, and they'd talk, tell them about stuff and just go see all kinds of Grand Canyon, all that kind of thing. Record it.
Well, I think it's a cool thing to travel around a little bit. I've done my fair share, and I instilled it in my kids just because, like, I've used this term before. I've been to the Rocky Mountains a few times. Dude, when I first time I went and hiked through the Rocky Mountains and shit, that shit changed my life. I'm from Louisiana. I haven't seen a hill,
Rocky Mountains.
and you take, yeah. And it was, hey, just like I've been to Montana, that's another state. Like blood red sky, I've heard the term before. Shit, I saw it for real in Montana, It's just good. It's good to get out there and meet.
Oklahoma.
Yeah, see, I've never been there. It's just good to get into new scene, just expose yourself, learn something. And it makes you grateful when you get back home.
Well, it taught me never to go in an RV with my grandparents on my dad's side and my dad across country.
Yeah, that would be me. I wouldn't want to be cooped up, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I can totally understand it. I've never done it, but I wanted to, like, rent an RV. I mean, I've talked with different people about it over the years, but I never did do it. Rent an RV and just go drive around for a month. I've come close, but I've never done it.
To me, that's more just for sightseeing. But like camping, to me, you're defeating the purpose if you have an RV. That's like glamping. It's like,
yeah.
To me, I don't like it. I mean, maybe it's just my personal opinion.
What is glamping?
Glamour camping. It's like you have like, it's wealthy people do it. They'll say that they're camping, but they have like fucking video games and fucking electronics in their shit.
Home.
Like there's no, you might as well stay home. Like, what the hell is the point?
Yeah, well, I'm glad you hear you say that, because I remember, I don't know, you were doing a survival thing. Maybe you can touch on that. Give me a second first. But when I was younger, I was a backpacker. Okay, I did backcountry, and that's how come I know about your survival tools and this, that, and the other, because I carried an 80-pound pack. And I went as far as I walked out. I had to walk back in, but all that car camping and shit, I'm not into it. It kind of aggravates me. I get invited every year or so, but dude, I don't know. I don't want to go buy some wood, or no, I don't even burn fire. Like when I'm backpacking, I don't use fire. I have a little gas camping stove, a micro stove. But no, I don't want to go sit around and drink and fucking sit around a fire and talk stupid shit, and, oh, I pitched a tent. We're having steaks tonight. I've been marinating them. Dude, that ain't fucking camping. Y'all just getting out the house. That's cool, but whatever.
It's just a different way of looking at things. But to me, the whole purpose is to like kind of test your mettle, I guess, so to speak. And
exactly.
Kind of see what you can do, because hell, especially the way things are going now, we might fucking be in a situation where we need to fucking survive.
Well, that makes me think, like, when I was like a kid, I remember taking like one of those little triangle-shaped tents. You could barely just get a sleeping bag in it, and I put that out in the woods, out my grandmother's woods, and I camped out there at like 8, 9 years old. To have the balls to do that as a kid. My cousin, he was out there, and then he's like, nope, he just went in the house. I'm like, all right, whatever.
That's the biggest tent you need. That's the biggest tent you need. Anything more than that is too much. I mean, sometimes I carried a tent, sometimes I didn't. I can remember it was like 8 pounds. Okay, now you have to carry that bitch. you know, and you got to carry a lot of other shit. So
If
you
you're
want
doing rail
small.
camping, yeah, you have to think about like tracking the shit and taking it places. You don't want a bunch of unnecessary crap.
Right. And it's like I can kind of vaguely remember. I don't think I was joking or whatever. That survival kit you ordered, or
Yeah.
you know, you had some redundancy there. I would say, you know, and I wasn't trying to be mean. Like I
I know.
said, I used to be a backpacker. Okay, so like, look, you know, I knew what to take. I knew. Look, sounds great, but no, it's too fucking heavy. You know.
Right. I understand. And it's things that I hadn't completely thought about because I'm admittedly a novice. And by the way, while I'm on that, that whole thing has been like postponed for a very long period because I can't, I cannot justify doing this little self like realization thing in the woods when my mom has cancer. Like I just can't. So,
That's understandable, Charles. But you get the whole idea. Like you
oh
said, it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
testing you. It's like testing your metal because
Right.
I've put myself in a few jams and I'll live through it. You know, I mean, I've
Right.
had
I
a
think I
couple
know what
close
you
calls.
need to do, Trumps. You need to find
What?
a local waterfall. Just go stand above it and just fap one out above that waterfall and just let it go. I mean, you'll feel so free.
Eh,
I'll
I
put it
have a
on
story,
YouTube,
but
dude.
I'm not going to tell it.
Why not? Did you do
Because
something
it's
similar?
okay. Look, I'm gonna tell it to you. You know, I don't care. Fucking, I don't care if somebody records it or not. Man, one time I was in Southwest Texas. There's a state park called Big Bend, and I went on this hike, and it took you like to this 2,000 foot cliff overlooking. You know, you could see Mexico, whatever. But anyway, the sun was going down, and I was standing on a rock outcropping, and all of a sudden, I got the inclination to sit down and jerk off and squirt my load over 2,000 foot cliff. I don't know. I did it. What can I say? I'm
You
ashamed, but
know,
I
it
did
was a
it.
Why
freeing
would you be
moment.
ashamed? That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a
Dude,
bonus moment.
it's weird. Something just came into me, like it was
Well, it came
natural.
out of
But
you.
uh,
Came out of you.
yeah. Well, I couldn't bend over. Dude, the cliff was pretty fucking sheer, and I was on an outcropping, and I would do stupid shit like go sit on an outcropping, you know, not thinking, oh, you
I did that
retarded
too
ass
when I was
might slip
younger.
and fall.
Yep.
It's
You
a
get that.
bad idea for someone like me because I'm just too impulsive. Like I would hang off edges and shit, which is already dumb. But if
No,
I were
see,
trying to
that's
like
beyond
fap
me.
off the edge or something, dude, my ass would be like, oh, and then fucking fly off the edge and I'm dead.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Well, I'm just telling you. For me, it was totally. I was with nature. Let's just say that I was at one with nature. I was happy, and I was staring. You know, I don't know. It was a joyous
You know
time.
what?
was
You
it
should make a film of that, and it's called "Fapping in the Wind" or something.
was it
Hey,
spiritual? Were you like
the
doing
thing
it with
is,
Mother Nature or something?
uh,
Was it spiritual or just you
yeah, it
just
was
had an
more
urge?
spiritual. More. Wait, spiritual or what?
Was it spiritual or was it just an urge and you wanted to take was it like something like esoteric like you're doing it with Mother Nature or some shit?
No, 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 no. Nothing perverted like that.
Well, it's not
Honestly,
perverted. It's kind of weird, but I
What
wouldn't
did
call
you
it.
think about while you fapped? That's the thing.
no, no, no. It was almost. It was just like. Look, I'll go with the spiritual aspect. It just seemed the right thing to do, you know. And okay, since I'm talking about this shit, you know, since we're on the topic, dude, when you hike around strenuously for 3 or 4 days before you blow a load, it feels good.
Well, it always feels good if you wait a while. Unfortunately, I'm not good at that.
Yeah, I mean, but the strenuous activity always gets me juiced up. Let's say.
Makes sense.
Then you tire out your forearms.
It depends on the
Yeah,
type of
not that.
fapper you are. Some people are like the type that where they just want it done. Like it's they consider it like a need they want to get out of the way, like taking a dump. I'm not like that. Like mine lasts forever. But some people
It's
just
an enjoyable
fucking
thing.
I
some
think
people
sometimes
just
it's
knock
finding
it
the
out.
proper stimulation. You need because it's you see the same thing over and over, therefore you become less stimulated by it. So therefore
Yeah.
it takes more extreme, I guess, to start pushing the envelope.
I've met a lot of people like that. For whatever reason, I am not. Like I'm not the type. Like I met a guy that my ex actually dated, strangely enough, after me, but he was that type, and he could only get off to like what are they called, prolapse buttholes and stuff.
Oh Jesus
But
Christ!
and the reason why is
That's
because
fucking
he
disgusting,
started
bro.
with like softcore porn, and then he couldn't. It wouldn't work
Well, we
anymore,
all
and then
started with Discovery
he
Channel.
had to keep on bumping it up. Now I don't
Dude,
understand it
if
because
you reach
me,
a prolapse, oh my god.
my
Yeah, I've
stuff
seen
is
that
really
before. Ugh.
tame. Like actually, most of the time, it's really softcore. Like my imagination does the work. Like I
Uh-huh.
don't need no extreme hardcore shit. Like I just never have.
Just goth girls gone wild.
Yep.
Man, that prolapse going in and out, it looks like some kind of alien. That's fucking sicko.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen that before,
it's
and that's
weird.
like, that's
And
disgusting.
look, I have a pretty dirty mind, but it
I try to
doesn't go
think
that
what goes through
far.
their mind. What made them want to be there, and what's going through your mind to want to make you do that?
I think some
Yeah,
of it's like just psychological, and it has to do with dominance and submission. And there's a
I
lot of human
agree with the
sexuality
dominance
that
of
goes
this
into that.
thing.
Uh,
I
I,
agree with that because I worked for a guy that had a family, but he would always mess around with young gay guys, and I think it
mhm.
was mostly about dominance. I can't, fucked up on coke, then I can do whatever I want to
Mhm.
whoever I want. I
Yeah,
think
and
that's
for
what it
whatever
is.
reason, the ass is considered more submissive because it's like I don't know, it's an asshole. It's like it's not what it's there for. So it's like people that have like a power trip, or maybe it's not even a power trip. Sometimes it's role play. People that have that personality style and they want to be the dominant. Sometimes they have this fantasy about just destroying an asshole because it makes them feel more powerful. I
Look,
don't have
I'm
it,
not
but
I'm not going to deny that, but first of all, this is like why I love coming on your stream because where else could you talk about this?
you can
So
talk about
let
it
me
in a
throw
lot of
this.
places.
Yeah, I don't know. That's one reason. If I talk like that, that's one reason people think I'm wacko.
Well,
But
you are,
anyway,
but that's a good thing.
right. But because we're here and I can speak freely, like jerking off over a cliff, you know what you're saying about, oh, they want a fucking asshole, and we won't even say whether it's male or female. Just want to fucking rage on somebody's asshole.
Mhm.
Dude, I'm about enjoying. Okay, whether I
Hey,
choose a
Alexander the
fucking
Great was the
asshole
same.
or a
He
pussy,
didn't care.
and I've even had to tell chicks, it's like, look, I'm not being mean, baby. It's just you put me in a little frenzy, because you know what I'm saying? Because I know there's people
Yeah,
like, oh,
Rage
fuck.
takes over.
I
Yeah,
get it.
I don't rage. I do get lustful, like I said, all of a sudden I might start slamming a chick. And I'll be like, baby, I'm not just doing this. I'm doing this because this is how good you are. This is what you're doing to me. If any of that makes sense.
Mhm. I
I
still
said,
don't
if
have
any
the
of that makes
asshole thing. Like it's never like no matter how lustful I am, like an asshole does not appeal to me. It never has.
dude, I thought you said you
Um,
were fucking gay.
Stop ruining my narrative. Um
Okay.
so there's my role play fantasy thing that I play because I'm a troll, and then there's real me. They're two different people. The real
Right.
me
Yeah,
is
that's the
actually
whole thing.
very, very conservative in nature when it comes to sexuality.
yeah, I'm about the same, I'd say.
Man, well, I don't know. I have a whole thing where people think I'm sex crazed. Like I go on these other streams and these other channels, and apparently some people think I'm a sex crazed maniac. You
Yeah,
know,
people nowadays think it's like porn. Like I meet people that are like in their 20s that never had sex nowadays, and it's like,
Yeah.
Gadwin, that's so fucking sad, bro.
yeah, I
That's
know,
fucking
man.
sad.
I don't know. Like it, I think it's highly subjective. I could see like even a different version of me to where I just never really gave a shit about girls and just focused on other things. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, I don't see it as sad really, unless they're involuntary celibate. Like they can't.
Incels.
That's sad. Yeah, that's sad. But if you just don't give a shit, or you decide, now this isn't me, but some people put all of their fucking focus on their work, and that's their whole life, and that's cool if that's what makes you happy.
You see that in Japan a lot. Asian culture.
Yeah, this is true. But look, well, Japanese are sex freaks too.
Well, they separate the two though. So in Japan,
yeah,
go hire a prostitute and be married, and the wife won't get mad. But if you're lustful with another woman,
some do. But compared to America, it's less frowned upon. It's like more the norm. But
it's less taboo.
But, yes, but there are still, just like anywhere, there are women there that are like, "Fuck you, you fucking prostitute with me, you're gone." It's just not as common.
Yeah. But if you and I went there, Travis, man, we'd have every Asian bitch on us, man. Two white giants come. Yeah.
I don't know if I would. I would only be into
videos.
Like the goth types, and I don't know. I don't know how frequent they are.
Oh,
there.
do you see anime? You look almost like an anime character.
I'm attracted like to rocker chicks. Rock and roll chicks, jeans, t-shirt, loud music.
Yeah, it's weird because my aesthetic visually and my personality don't mesh. And not my personality, their personality. So I like the rocker chicks, but I don't like free, I don't know what you'd call it, sluttiness. I don't like it. So, but they tend, not always, but they tend to be that way. So it's like I've set up this fucking failure. It's like, I don't know why I've set shit up that way. It's like, it's what I like. I can't change it, but it's like a bad mix.
Somebody earlier on the other chat I was talking about, I always like those like lioness ones that are really just like snobby to everybody, kind of just like
really
rude, but I don't know why, but it's always been.
Yeah, it's weird. We like shit that's not logical, and it's like, but you can't control it. What the fuck?
Right.
It's like a challenge. You want to overcome that wall. It's like you want to, why are you like that?
That's part of it. It's like a different version of the white knight syndrome, where you want to fix somebody. But mine is more like, to some extent, I want what I like visually, and certain like personality characteristics, like the anarchist sort of, like, you don't tell me what to do type people, and also like think that I can like turn them into a decent fucking partner that won't fucking,
Yeah, I thought I could transform people.
Yeah.
Most of the time it don't work, but
no,
it's possible.
They just fight you, and then it causes more conflict.
Yep.
Let me ask y'all an opinion, please. Because y'all are bringing up this and that, which, to me is personality shit, which leads to my question. In this other chat, it seems the logic is like they tell these horrible lies, okay? And like some guy was saying his girlfriend's dad died. Well, the girl slipped up and it was discovered nobody died. But for those people, it's like, oh, anything goes. Yeah, it was a lie, but it was just trolling. It was just for entertainment. What's y'all's opinion on doing that? Like saying your girlfriend's dad died for entertainment purposes. Or actually, he said it was to weed out the assholes, because who's going to critique, oh, now we know who are total assholes because they were laughing about the death.
I've done a lot of that sort of thing in the past. I would troll about anything. It didn't matter. Just as like a game, and sometimes it was a social experiment to see people's reaction. Lately, or like within the last few years, I've kind of, I don't know, I've changed a little bit. Like I'm less like, I don't do that as much. And the reason why is because on the whole, I think people knew I was a troll, and that's just me playing a game and having fun. But some people, they would lose trust when I was being serious. So
see, that's what happened. I lose trust in a person.
Yes, and I didn't like that aspect of it. And even my significant others would like learn about my past, and it would cause heated issues. And I understand why. It's like I separated the two. So it's like I didn't think about consequences really. So
Right.
now I'm more likely to think about what the long-term effects of what I'm doing would be.
Well, that's good. How about you, Gadwin? What's your thoughts on it? Because I'm still trying to learn. 5 years later, I'm still learning, trying to learn how to chat.
I mean, it really depends. I always try to be very logical. You know me. But I do
Do you
like the.
consider yourself? Do you consider yourself honest?
Oh yeah, I'm usually told I'm over honest or too honest.
See, and that's what I am. And then I kind of get this flack, like, oh yeah, oh I did say that, but I was just joking,
It's not.
I'm just
Yeah, it's not
joking.
knowing when to shut the hell up. I have that problem.
I'm like that now. Like now I get myself in trouble constantly
Yep.
because I refuse to lie. Like my aunt will even tell me, like, because she's my boss, like, don't tell me that. Are you trying to get fired? I'm like, if you bring something up and like, even if you're not directly asking, like if it reminds me, like I'm like, yeah, I don't do that. Like I'm
Yeah, I
supposed to
do
like
that.
mop certain shit or something. And I'm like, I don't
No,
do that on my busy days because I'm efficient. Like I don't waste time. Like she's like, you have to do that every day. And I'm like, I don't, and I'm not going to. Like I'm very honest about everything, even if it gets me in
Yep.
trouble. I don't care.
Yep.
well, and that's one of the things. I'm honest too, and then I get arguing. Well, truth to you isn't the same truth to me. Truth's on a spectrum, and like, man, once it starts with that, I'm like, I don't even
Well,
want to talk.
I've said that myself before, so it depends on what we mean. So it is true that like I don't like when we're talking about truth. I don't like that people turn it into a subjective thing because it's factually not. There is a my truth when it comes to your perception, but there's only
Right.
one objective truth on anything.
I,
Like it's the
I,
reality is
I,
reality.
Hey,
So like,
I can agree with that, but I don't
mhm.
want to argue with people about that because they do the same thing with morals, and I think you're similar. You might have a similar view on morals, because I said something to somebody, about lying about the parents dying, and then
Uh-huh.
I got thrown the question like, oh, well, whose morals are you talking about? And at that point, look, dude, look, whatever. I don't even want to talk about morals because I've been
There,
down this road before.
there are some types of people that just have zero morals. Like literally, they'll get their morals from their friends. So whatever their friends do and act like, they'll act like them.
Right. Well, there's also people with certain personality types that have morals. It's not they don't have any, it's that they're very different from accepted norms.
Mine
Like
are very rigid.
mine are
Yeah,
rigid, but they're
I would.
weird. Like
Yeah,
I'm against certain norms that almost everyone agrees with. Like you should never kill people. And people think this
right,
is
right.
fucked up, but I'm very
There,
honest. Like I do not have
there.
that. I think that some people should die, and that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest
Well,
about it.
I'm for the death
well,
penalty
to me,
if like that person murdered people and did like a heinous thing. Why should
Mhm.
we keep them alive in a penitentiary? Do away with them. They did away with so many
well,
people. They should have the
Mhm.
same done to them.
I'm
hey,
a
I'm glad.
utilitarian. I look at the
I
big
didn't think
picture.
I would hear that from you, Gadwin, but I'm glad I did. That's not
That
a
was
very
one
liberal
thing the
point of
Italian
view.
and I very disagreed on.
Mhm.
Well, and that's one reason I like coming on this panel because I've told Trump before, a few streams back. It's like our belief system is so far apart, but sometimes there's things we don't even know that we have in common, like
Oh,
what you just
there's
said about
always
killing.
there you'll find commonalities with anyone. That the trick is that people sometimes they have a combative personality due to their identity. Like I consider myself a leftist, you consider yourself on the right. That identity makes it to where you seek out the differences and you hone in on them. Some people just don't look for the commonalities, but everybody has them.
No,
Everyone.
no. Like there's one stream that they have, and they have like the main characters, the main players. There's 5 of them. Dude, every fucking day, all they do is laugh and make fun of people and gossip. You know,
Mhm.
and
I just
I don't
don't
know
get that. What do people why do they get anything out of that? Like what type of
exactly,
person gains enjoyment out of attacking other people in like a
like
group situation? I don't understand.
exactly. And then once you get the mob rules mentality, oh look at him, da 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 da, it's so funny, ha 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 ha. day after day, you know, different victims, so to speak. But no, that's you know,
That's the hierarchical shit that I've went away from in the past. Like Jordan had a Discord server that was very popular, at least at the time, and he made a lot of a decent amount of effort to like recruit me and keep me in there. And I was I'm like, dude, I don't do this sort of environment. You have these cliques, your group that holds all the social
oh yeah,
power in this group. You hunt and attack anyone you don't like, and your little band of
right,
minions attack them. I don't do shit like that. I need a free
right.
space to where there aren't rigid hierarchies like that. It turns
Trobs.
me off.
It was kind of you remember my Discord I had before Jordan branched off and did his.
I never knew about that. You've told me about it, but I don't think I've been there or I didn't know about it.
I was the original one, kind of. Well, we started up with some other Australian guys, but that just went to shit quicker than anything. But then I started one, but I kind of did it with a very light touch. Basically, I gave a whole bunch of them power and then watched how they act. I just basically sat there and just left them. Didn't give me the crown either, so I didn't make it like I was the leader. I actually gave them all the power. So each and every one of the officers had the same power as me.
Did you do it on purpose as a social experiment?
In a way, yeah, to watch their behavior. I sat there mostly incognito and just watched how they acted towards each other, how they preyed upon each other, how they talked behind each other's backs.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
See, that's interesting. I don't know. I'm not that much into it, but that's kind of what I was asking earlier because I think there are people like that do that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I haven't ever done that. Maybe I'll grow into it. I
would
don't know.
say that's actually most people. That's the norm.
some
Most
people shy away
are.
from the power, but then Jordan, he was one that wanted all the power.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know about the incognito thing, but let me say this real quick, and then I just want to interject. So I think you mentioned, you know, like being recruited. It's the same thing. I see it because of my behavior. People basically leave me alone the places I go now. But I can see people like using basic psychology, I call it body snatching, to try to lure somebody into their fold, you know? And I'm like, damn, look at this shit. They're going after the retarded chick without basic fucking psychology or something.
I'm like
It's fucked up.
naturally resistant to it because
Yeah.
of my personality. I hate
I question everything about it.
conformity. And it's because I'm like a goth kid at heart. I'm still sort of like conformity is fucking bad to me. What is normal is not a good thing to me. So
Exactly.
when
I never fit in anything. Like I could never apply myself
But
into anything because it didn't make
yes,
sense to me.
exactly. But I think of that as a positive thing, whereas other people see it, something's wrong with me. I'm weird. I'm different. I look at when I say weird, I'm giving you a fucking compliment. Like it's a good thing because to me, instead of conforming and trying to become a cookie cutter in society, you should focus and hone in on your differences because that's what makes you you. That's what your strengths are in this world, in my opinion. That's how I look at it.
Yeah. Well, you know something I've discovered, and I'm not trying to pat my back. You know, people that don't belong to cliques. Like you two guys. Actually, I mean, we all have buddies, but you know, this clique thing can get pretty deep. You know, and it's just absorbing somebody in. You know, for some people, hey, maybe it's like, let me see how many people I can lure in because the community, I call it, I belong to now, you know, there's probably about 60 people that float around. Man, it's like a big fucking competition. There's about 5, 6, 7 of them have streams. And man, they're like, oh, I have 17. He only has 9. Oh, I have 30. He only has 12.
And you can tell what their motives are by how they talk and what you just said. That's all they talk. They're like, you only have so many viewers. You only have so many subscribers. That it shows that they're not there to talk and to discuss things. They're there as like this weird competition with each other. Like it's dumb.
Yeah.
Like I don't give a fuck if I'm here by myself. Like for a good part of this live stream, for at least the first 30, 45 minutes, I was talking to Odyssey alone in chat. And I was perfectly fine with it. Don't get me wrong, because I was eventually going to
Right.
shut down because it wouldn't get going. But I don't give a shit about fucking subscribers. Like, that's so fake. And what that does is it makes the show, you can't trust what they're saying as their actual opinion, because people tailor their shit for content, for views, and for algorithms. And then it's
Right.
not real anymore. It's fucking just bullshit. And that's
Right.
why that's why I will never fucking monetize.
Right. So, Trobs, let me touch on all that. So, real quick, I kind of know what you're talking about, because these people that say they don't care about numbers, each and every one of them to a person cares, because they always talk. I don't care, but I do have 5 more than he does, but I don't care about numbers. I don't
Yeah.
even pay attention. Oh, by the way, I have more than him. You know, I've seen it.
So
And
how you
let me
can
ask you.
tell? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. No. Look, okay, I'll finish this thought. So there's another guy, and I'm not going to try to avoid naming names, but I really think he has some kind of dream. And I think there's numerous ones that they're somehow going to monetize and start making decent money, which to me is laughable. I don't even know the numbers.
It can happen, but it's very rare, because everybody and their damn grandma has a YouTube channel. But
Well,
like,
I think I have one of those kind of success stories. There used to be a girl in chat. Her name was Donia Voss. She wanted to be a YouTube chat sensation. She was doing all these YouTube videos and everything like that, and doing live streams. And the people in chat, she would come to chat, and people are all, wanting her and everything like that. But she was on my Discord, and her and I had a couple talks, and I was like, you need to get away from this. I was like, you live in California. You already have like the best place to start to get into the industry of making like films and doing stuff. Go become an extra, go try to become an extra and stuff like that. Get to know cast members, higher ups. And I seen she done films now. She was in 2 different movies now.
that's awesome.
Well, that's good. But as far as like this one streamer, and again, they could have been trolling, like, talking about merch and shit. From what I can tell, what they're gonna make $20, $200. There's none of these people all of a sudden gonna be like Joe Rogan in the next decade. None of them are gonna be popular.
Yeah. You needed to be on top of this 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Now
it's too saturated. There's no real like it's fucked. But like how you can tell, the point I was going to make earlier, I cut you off, but the point I was going to make is the way you can tell if they really mean it when they say that they don't care about subscribers and views and shit is they won't put effort into it. Like their actions won't fuck up with their words. Like me, when I claim I don't give a shit about it, I don't advertise. Now I've recently said that I do want to start like really basic shit because shit's starting to drop off pretty bad. I like to have a small handful of regular people and to have interesting conversations like we do, but I do want it to be a little bit more than now. I don't want to be large though. As a matter of fact, I've said it before and I mean it. If it gets too big, I'll shut it down and start over. Because I don't like the fucking when things get too big. Well, there's that. I'm not a big fan of fame, but also things get fake after a while. It's like natural. Like people start becoming like a band, like Vosh. He's like a left-wing fucking dude, and he started out just speaking his mind and shit. And then he started having a bandwagon that followed him everywhere and did his dirty work for him. I don't want that shit. I don't like that shit. And I don't want hierarchies and crap. I just want a fucking normal conversation and fucking talk about shit that I think matters. That's it.
I call it like a Jesus following. You have your higher ends that want to follow you, and then you have all the other groupies kind of. It's like, I don't like that.
I fucking hate it. It's funny because it's the opposite of what they want. They want to suck up and be like, "Oh yeah, dude, you're fucking awesome," blah, blah, blah. But you end up like disliking them because they're fake as shit and they're just chasing clout or something. Like,
we're deep people and they want to be deep, but they're just shallow people.
Yes, and you can see that from a mile away, and it's like I am fucking repelled by that shit. I need people who will
it's
like.
Kind of weird. It's opposites, like repelling.
Mm-hmm. but only to certain types. Like to the people that he's talking about that say they don't care, but they obviously do. They love that shit because it
Yeah, but
helps
they
them
want to
grow.
be us
Right.
in a way,
That's
in
true.
that intellectual way where they can just talk about things, but
You know
they
something
can't.
else too. I go
Maybe.
on these I go on these panels, and man, they're like shit shows. You got 9 people on panel talking about this and that. 3 of them are fucking drunk, dude. Why do I want to be a part of this? It's a shit show.
Well, a
Oh,
lot
you,
of
you have this
people
street.
like that though. So if you're looking to grow,
Apparently,
sometimes it
apparently,
works because people love that shit. They eat it up. But I
Jerry
don't.
Springer
It's like
stuff.
so fucking boring to me. Like you
To
can
me,
see
that's
that anywhere.
cringe.
It
It's just
is.
very
right.
cringe. Like,
All right,
yeah,
I'm gonna give y'all. I'm gonna give y'all an example. Y'all know who Patrick is, right? Patrick Rowe.
oh
Mhm.
yeah.
Do you know him, Tribes?
I know him very well. I had a pretty serious disagreement with him last week.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, anyway, out in this chat world that I've been venturing into, Patrick's fucking famous. They
Yeah.
they they bitch and complain, but they'll put him up on panel. He fucking starts flipping out, then everybody can start making fun of him. Oh yeah, this, that, and the other. He's well known. He's chat famous in that
Well,
group.
he thrives
It's
on it.
funny.
He enjoys that.
It,
I think he's a lonely person, and he gets any form of attention is good to a person like Patrick Rowe.
Yeah. I
And I
kind of,
think that's what he's
I
doing.
considered him my friend, but I flipped out on him recently, like on Angela's panel or whatever. It's like, dude, you don't look. You're pretending to not. Angela's fucking. I don't know. I don't want to seem like I'm white knighting, even though I quote unquote was. Man, he's vicious to people sometimes. That's his thing. But
That's
anyway,
what I
he,
told him last week that, dude, something's wrong with you because you don't like anyone. All you ever do is attack. Like even people that you have ideological similarities with. You only attack everyone. Like what the hell is wrong
he's
with you,
like
dude?
a rabid elderly man.
Yeah, I think he
he
has
is.
age. I think he has a problem with his age or something in his life. And he's just lashing out at the fucking world, like
And
everything.
that's how it seems to me. Like he lost everything, it seems, and he's just pissed at the world, but he can't do anything else about it, but other than bitch about it.
I mean, sometimes he's a likable person. Like when I first met Pat, he was some grouchy old guy, I think living in Pennsylvania, bitching about cats and mice and shit like that. And man, he has progressed to the point where I flipped out on him because, dude, don't be setting people up. Like Angela, he was at Melody. What is Angela's potential to succeed at the post office? I don't know if y'all know about Angela in the post office,
I've
but
been hearing
dude,
about
quit trying
Angela in the
to.
post office for like 6 months now.
I
Right,
have
Or maybe
no
but
longer.
idea.
anyway, he's so Melody. Do you think Angela would be a good employee at the post office?
No.
Shit like that, trying to stir shit. And anyway,
Yeah, that's all he does. Like it's
but
weird. But I
this,
think part of it is what I said. He chases any form of attention and he's learned that the best way he gets attention because it's entertaining to some people is when he's just a dick and he's loud. You could see it in some of my older streams and I pointed it out. He like fake outrages sometimes and he'll just be loud and angry like
yeah,
on purpose just to get people to follow and be like because he sees it as a good thing.
I watched him try it with me because he would try, and then after he wouldn't succeed, he'd sit there and just kind of laugh. Like you could see the fakeness in it.
Exactly. The
well,
laugh is what gives it
I
away.
don't know. I think there is some truth to what he does. I know what you're talking about because I've heard him like mid rage, like kind of laugh and then fall back into character. But I think
Yes, sometimes it is real. I'm not in any way saying that it's all fake, but what I'm saying
right.
is you can tell when he's doing that just for the attention because of that.
I'll see him later. Like I said, I've been, the past 6 months, I've just been venturing around. I still consider Blade Runner my home, my true home. But Pat, I'm telling you, out there's 4 or 5 panels. They want him on there because you know what? He brings bodies. He gets the count up because people want to see. They want to see him flipping out and laugh at him, and he plays into it now. You know.
That's the dumbing down of society.
Yeah. Yeah. Well.
I don't mind
Dumbing
having him
down.
on, but I'm not gonna put up with a shit show. Like if he starts doing the fucking attacking everybody and shit, then I'm just gonna be like, dude, stop it, or I'm kicking you. Like,
Yeah,
Right.
I
'Cause
get
see,
zero
that's what
entertainment
I'm
value
not
from
into
that.
the shit show. And, you know, that's another thing, you know, you talk about, I think you, in so many words, you wouldn't mind a little growth. But man, if I'm on a panel of 9 people and
that
the
won't happen.
moderator, right, and the
That won't happen.
moderator doing zero to maintain control,
I
dude,
am
it's
bad.
just a
I am
fucking,
bad for that. If we get a large group, I'm pretty bad for my general style is kind of anarchistic. Like everybody has the right to say whatever the fuck they want. But sometimes I go
right.
too far with that and I let shit get out of control. I admit it. It's something I got to work on.
You can give me the hammer. I'm a INFJ. I'm pretty fair.
Yeah, well,
But then
this is
people
the
would
reason.
complain that I'm giving you power.
I know. Oh man, it pisses me off so much because they all think I'm mad in Blade Runner chat all the time. I just go on my little tangent. Somebody says something, well, I give them the info about it. They think I'm mad all the time. I'm like, I'm not mad. I'm sitting here like laughing, like because they think I'm mad. And it's like
That's similar to me, but what it is topics, ideas get me going because they matter to me. So I'll be like invested in a topic and they'll think I'm triggered at them. But that's not the case. It's like
I know.
it's weird.
I don't know. I
always
kind
admit
of
that.
get what y'all are saying. I mean, look, somebody, like I said, I've been going out. I call it panel whoring or whatever. And there's some people, they say they're not in the shit shows, but that's what they have every night, the shit show.
That's
And they
true.
let it go at the shit show.
It
I noticed
goes.
that with a girl at work. She's like, because this one old pappy guy there, he's an asshole. He's a racist little motherfucker. I want to hit already.
Right.
And he said about this girl, she missed work the one day. He's like, oh, that's 3 days. She might get fired. And I was working next to her, and she's like, I was like, something, about getting points or something like that. And it was like, oh, the old man said you got 3 points. Well, she's like, I hate drama. And she acted like she hates drama. But then the next day, all she was doing was back and forth, like trying to start drama with everybody. So it's the ones that say they don't want drama. They really want drama.
If they go out of their way to point it out, then yes. Like if they it's like a recurring thing. They're like, oh, I hate drama. Then you're
And that
most of the time
faux
you're right.
outrage.
Yeah.
You see the faux outrage over and over. They're freaking, they're sick and shit like that. They get sympathy and shit. I'm like, oh shit, stay away from this bitch.
I think a lot of times it has to do with this is the psychology nut coming out, but
What's
according
funny
to
is her
a
name's
lot of
Angela.
the evidence, it comes back to the way they were brought up. It's nurture. It's like they didn't get enough attention as a child, so they
Hey, I believe in
become
that, Trump.
like aggressively. They need it, and they like create defense mechanisms, and their whole personality is centered around getting attention at all costs.
Well, I think they gave us a little voucher thing for $25, and it says doesn't work at Walmart. Well, we just buy our groceries from Walmart, so I was like, here, you can have this. I could tell she's poor. She's probably not good at managing anything. It looks like, so I just gave it to her. Well, I think she thought that I was simping or something, and it's just more. No, I was feeling pity because I can tell you broke. Here.
And that's funny too, you know, nowadays, shit. That's even like on chat. I tell all the chicks hello. Now I'm a big simp because I'm polite to people. Now I'm a simp.
Well,
I'm a simp for being polite.
Sometimes when people say simp, and it's muddied down things because it's become a general attack now. Sometimes they
Right.
say it just to try to get to you, like they don't actually believe it's true. They just say it to like try to get under your skin.
It's about
Right.
triggering emotions.
I agree. And the whole thing is, you know, like I'm new over there, okay, but I'm not new to chatting. So I know what you're saying, and I know about, you know, believe me, I've been called horrific things, but dude, I've been around this long. You're not going to scare me off. Now I forgot my fucking point. But yeah, calling a person a simp or a Nazi. And there's this one dude, okay? He's in New Zealand. He hates on America. He hates on America horribly. And I finally asked him, I'm like, what do you mean right wing Republican? Well, what exactly is that? You throw that term around a lot. I'd like to know what it means. And anyway, blah 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 blah. And then I just get into the analytical part of it. Try to get him not to hate. So it's like, oh, X percentage of Americans you would consider right wing. Well, do you consider me right wing for my views? Blah 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 blah. How many? I just don't like people. To me, it's a negative term. I mean, I hear it used. I think I've heard y'all use it or whatever.
I do.
And I don't want, the way, just because of the way I am, I don't say whatever, left wing, whatever. I used to use terms like libtard and stuff like that. I'm trying to get away from that. But
I think it became as a combat mechanism because of being called snowflakes and all that bullshit for so many years. And it's like, all right, you fucking right winger.
so what I really hate about what we're talking about is it destroys credibility when you mean it. When I call someone a simp, I don't use it as a generic attack unless I'm just playing with them or joking. Like, it means I think it's a serious problem in society. Simping is not just a person that likes girls. It's specific. It means that you put women on pedestals and get used by them thinking that you have a chance when you don't. And people get fucked over and over because of this. Now, my issue is people throw out simp willy-nilly when it's not the case. And then when you actually are trying to make a legitimate point that someone's a simp and it's problematic, no one takes it seriously. That's why I don't engage in that shit, and I don't use words lightly.
Right. Man, I've seen so much of that crap over in Vegas. I mean, dude, it's bad. It's like a soap opera, It changes from day to day. Like, they had a couple old conservative guys. They were friends a week or two ago. Now they're enemies, and the simping, the real ones, the fake ones, and this, and it's fucking wacko. It's so wacko. You know who Acid is, right? Acid's become normal. He's become somewhat normal to me in the big picture. It's fucking crazy. Yeah, well, I go on his chat when he's not flipping out, I can talk shit with him. Which of course gets me more shit from other people. Why are you fucking talking to Acid? Acid, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, I'm learning from the dude. Yeah, he's an asshole. So what? I'll fucking learn one or two things from him. Fuck off. Because it's all about you're only allowed to talk to who you're allowed to talk to by them. Right. When I'm in the mood, I might talk to anybody.
I'll say the same thing I've said in the past about this, and this, to umbrella it, this is the guilty by association topic. So I'm kind of in the middle. So it is true that the people you surround yourself with represent you, and it reflects on you. However, if you're just talking to someone like me, I have a conversation with fucking anyone. It doesn't matter. Like, I'll have a conversation with everyone. It don't mean I'm their fucking best friend. Right. So it depends on the amount of influence they have over that person and how friendly they are that it matters. But I don't just automatically throw out guilty bias. You talk to blah, 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 so you're a piece of shit. Well, I don't do that.
Right. You have to be careful about that because that's something, guilty by association. Well, I associate with a lot of people. The whole thing is, it's just like Acid as an example. If somebody happens along, oh, look, Andy's talking to Acid. But if that so-called person doesn't know who I am, then, hey, this stupid motherfucker talks to everybody, not just Acid, then it might be like, well, fuck, he's guilty associating with all of them.
It's not guilty by association in the way that I mean it. That's actually meaningful if you're like equal across the board and you associate with everyone.
Right. I'm just saying somebody that happened there. Right. It's just like I'm new to this environment, It's 6 months. I had to go in there cold. Now I'm who I am, but yeah, to some people, if they see me going at somebody, it's like, damn, Andy's a mean person. But I only typically do that retaliation. But if you get to know me, I'm a nice guy. But shit, you start
I
calling
tell
me a faggot, or no offense, if you start using names against me, we're gonna have fun.
well, I usually tell people I'm like a mirror. I mean, you get back what you reflect into it.
Right, right. I mean, come on. I know you guys have been around a long time, longer than me, I'm pretty sure. But dude, you get to know the game so much that you can it depend. You get to
You
know it
can
so much. Like
anticipate
for
a
me,
lot of things about
yeah, you
people
can,
just by how
and
they
it
talk.
depends on
And
what.
well,
Right?
that's
Huh?
that's why I'm kind of the opposite. I'm not the mirror type. I'm I don't know if it's a good or bad thing. And maybe it's because I've just done this for so long, or maybe it's just my personality, but am I don't care. Like someone's aggressive, it doesn't make me aggressive. If someone's nice, it doesn't make me nice. I don't want to call it objective because I'm not objective. I have bias just like everyone. But like I'm not as influenced by what other people think. Like it doesn't affect me. Someone can be pissy and hate me, and I can still agree with them and be like, yeah, you're right. Like it doesn't matter.
See, it has
Yeah.
its ups and downs. So like at work, I'm very helping. So anybody I see struggling at any part, I come and help them right away. And now other people, anytime they see me struggling, any of them all jump in to help me because I'll help any one of them.
Right.
But there's
Well, then
some
that's
that
that's a
are
great thing. You're teaching and learning, whatever. I don't know,
yeah.
but yeah,
But then
I
there's
mean,
this
I
one
have a
guy who
similar
says, "Get the fuck
characteristic.
out of my way" and stuff. I won't help him now because he was a complete asshole from the start, and I would just
Oh
almost
yeah,
dismiss
yeah.
him.
Right.
Okay, I agree with you. That's more of a common sense. Like you remember the type of person someone is, and you will help or not help them based on who you think they are. Like that's
Yep.
yeah,
Right.
absolutely. I agree with that.
Well,
They
you
get
know
a
what
tally
comes
sheet
into
basically.
play. It's good to be a humble human being. You know, don't be a Mr. Know-it-all. You might get bit in the ass. Just even if you're
Yeah.
good, be humble. I mean,
I'm
that's something
trying.
I
I
taught
try
my
so
kids.
hard. It's so hard to hold it back at times. It's
I agree with exceptions. So if you're talking to an individual that is presenting themselves by context as an authority on a subject you know way more about, I don't see it as a negative thing to call them out on it and go, no, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You can do so politely, but it's necessary. Like, and some people might consider that arrogant. I don't. If your intent is not to toot your own horn, like,
well,
I don't
that's
think
some
it's
of the issue I was
arrogant because
having.
I've been in that situation in real life. So I
mhm.
don't
That's
think I think it's putting somebody in their place.
well, it's kind of a risky thing because I'm thinking like break room. So we're sitting in the break room for lunch, and people get talking about things. Well, it's a manager talking, like one of the high up managers, and it's
Mhm.
like, and me trying to maybe, I don't try to necessarily correct him, but maybe deviate him to new information that would change his mind on the subject.
Yes. So this is a different matter. I'm talking broadly. So and you're doing this a lot in this conversation, by the way. I'm talking about something very specific, and then you bring up something that's more broad, and I agree with you. So in this situation, I'm the same, but it's you might consider it fake, but I'm not stupid. I'm not gonna fucking piss off my goddamn manager, and they're
Well,
just
I've
gonna
done
fucking
stupid
fire me.
shit where I just blurted that
Exactly.
out.
So
Exactly.
so I'm in the middle a little bit. So I don't want to feel like I'm a fake fucker and I just tell people what they want to hear, even if they're my boss. But I'm not gonna go overboard. I'm not gonna say you're a faggot, shut up, or like
Right.
like I'm not gonna do that. So it's like you do
Right.
have to consider the situation and like the person that you're talking to. It kind of matters.
Yep, you really got to
Yeah.
critique what you say.
Exactly.
Gads, if
I
my
mean,
new computer isn't displaying on my HDMI TV, got any ideas?
Um, do you have it plugged into the actual graphics card and not the motherboard?
Oh yeah, I've had
Video
that
output.
problem.
You gotta look down at the slots at the bottom. You should see they might have little pegs in them yet. They're like little plastic pegs that you can pull out. There should be two, or no, should be probably two display ports and one HDMI.
What was you saying, Andy?
Nothing. I'm just wondering now. I'm thinking, do you have to select it on your machine? You know, like your. Anyway.
No, it's usually like Gadwin described. There's a specific port that goes directly into the graphics card, and that's the one you use for your HDMI to
Believe
television.
me, I've had all those problems. I'm glad I don't. I've worked on computers 15 years. You know.
I don't know much
Anyway,
about them. I only know that
me,
because I've had that specific problem.
Right.
You plugged it into the board up at the
Yep.
top with all the other cords, and they're like, "Why isn't it working?"
I've done that
I had
before
that
because I
happen.
don't know what is it. It's like a 12-pin connection or something. You know, fuck.
I
It's
used
just
to
like,
game with a big screen TV, but it hurt my eyes because I was too close. But I will tell you that porn is fucking great on a fucking big screen TV. It's fucking awesome.
I just want one of those new, like, curved monitors.
It is
have to
awesome.
try that. I'm gonna have to try to do that.
Don't game like that though, unless you have like a lot of distance. Like if you have a couch kind of far away or something, it fucked my eyes up when I did that.
Or maybe I could find a nice cliff scene and I could sit on the edge of my bed. Shit.
Cheers, honestly.
But yeah.
I keep bumping this one up. I'm almost 3 hours. By the way, this time for real. 10 minutes.
Okay, that's cool. No, man, I'm glad I caught y'all because I was on the phone with my brother and I was on the phone with him a good hour plus. And finally, I'm like, look, dude, let me go. We're not talking anymore. Too much silence. Because my brother, I can talk to him for an hour and a half on the phone, no problem.
I hate that. I hate what you're describing. When someone like they're on the phone and they're not really, there's no objective. They're not doing anything that's significant, and they just they're quiet and they don't know what to say, but they stay on the phone. And I'm like,
my brother,
why are you doing this? Like, it's awkward. I don't want to talk if we're not talking about something. So like,
I've had girls do that.
What the fuck are we doing here? But I can't say it because I feel like an asshole. So it's like, fuck.
Yeah, well, he's my brother.
I don't on the phone with on that.
Well,
the guys
will go through.
I am not a small talk person. I've never been. I'm a like, I like deep conversations. I like things that I think matters, but I'm not the dude that you're like. I walk out the door, and this is my neighbor sometimes, and they feel like they're obligated to say something or it's rude, and I disagree. But then they feel like they need to, the weather's been great lately. And I just roll my eyes. I'm like, fuck, I don't want to talk about fucking the weather. Like, I know. I walk outside. We don't need to fucking talk about it, dude. Like I don't know why it bothers me so much, but it grates at me.
It does, because I
have a neighbor lady. I have that. She's a nice little lady. She has a couple kids, and she happens to be loading them up, take them to school, and I'm just walking home in the morning. And every morning she sees me, hi, how you? Like, if it's cold, a little breast today, yeah, it is, and then that's about it.
Yeah, and that's politeness or whatever, but it's only so much. But let me just throw this in there, Trop. You use the word matter or matters. It's like when I'm talking to my brother, shit. We talked about some basketball, we talked about some vegetables, we talked about cooking. Now, like, cooking may sound like a little sissy subject, but we were talking about air fryers.
Right. I love cooking.
The point is,
go ahead.
It was meaningful to us. Whatever the conversation was, had meaning. Now, hour into it, it starts to drift off. Now, we're left to gossip or hypotheticals. No, I'll talk to you later.
So that's what I was going to say, is when I say matters, I am including subjectivity. So if it matters to you, that's okay. So my issue is when it doesn't matter to either party. It's like a social construct thing that's like implanted in their brain that they should say just on account of like some social norm. And they just do it like the weather thing. But no one really cares about the weather that much, or both know about the weather. It's like this weird thing, and it's
it's kind of like
I don't like it.
All right,
let me add the conversation up.
Right.
So
Let
I
me ask you
understand
all
it
this.
if they don't know how to, if they have something else that they do want to talk about and they're using it as like an initiator. I understand that. That makes sense. But go ahead,
All right.
Andy.
Well, let me ask you all this. I want y'all's opinion. So, for instance, on this chat, I see it day in, day out, week in, week out. Oh, so and so's an asshole. He was an asshole yesterday. Tomorrow he's going to be an asshole. Asshole did this. Asshole did that. He did it all again. Same repetitive drama, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's like I'm not involved with it. But even if I was, it's boring as fuck, man. I'd
They
rather
still
talk
try to do
about.
that with me about Bianca and all that stuff. Like Jimmy was this morning. I got home from work and Jimmy's there trying that shit, and I just laid into him about his father and how he should maybe respect him. And actually, it was this long spiel. And then I went to bed. But
I
I've been
think I
doing that
might have
shit for like
saw.
2 years.
I think you were giving Jimmy too much credit. I don't like the dude.
He's an asshole. I know.
He's one of
I
those
mean,
types of people that only attacks, or he's not quite as bad as Patrick Rowe, but he's also a similar person where I think he just doesn't like his life and he gets off on trying to make himself feel better by attacking other people.
Yeah, I usually get him to reflect on his behavior and things like that.
oh, when somebody says, "Oh, I'm king of chat. I'm the best that y'all have," things of that nature, like megalomaniac.
Yeah.
I think I know that word. Dude, when
Yeah.
you start announcing that you're the MVP of chat and stuff like that, I think you're a little wacko.
Right. The
Yeah.
only time I use that is I never start that. So I only do so defensively, meaning someone calls me out like I did it not too long ago with fuck, I can't even remember his name. But he was talking shit and he was like, I'm the fucking king, man, and you won't do a live stream with me. And I knew he was just trying to use my small platform to like make himself look better, but it was still like
Right.
no challenge. So yes, I did play that same thing, but only to make him look like an idiot. So I don't do it like I'm the fucking
Right.
shit.
I can
I'm the
understand.
king. So I do it
Right.
because I'm fighting fire with fire. I'm
No,
beating
I
them at their
totally
own game.
understand. And that
Right.
gets into like, what I was saying earlier. Like if somebody just pops in and sees Trav saying that, then all of a sudden, oh, Trav thinks he's the king, but they don't know the
Yeah.
context of what he was saying.
Right. That
Well, you
happens
say
a
that.
lot.
I have the name Lord on my name. I mean, you know how much grief I get for that? People
Wait, what?
rage about Lord all the time.
That's
It's so
hilarious.
funny.
Why would someone like, unless you're being condescending or whatever, if it's just your name, that would imply to me that they're insecure. If they just automatically get offended by the word, like what the fuck? That's
Hey,
weird.
let me throw this at y'all real quick. Because y'all mentioned name. And okay, so y'all know who Patrick Rowe is. Okay. So anyway, apparently when you go live on panel, and I've had it done to me, but I catch it and fix it. Like when you're backstage, I believe like yourself, Trops, you would have the power to put something under my name. If it says Andy 504, you could put cocksucker underneath it. I think you have that power.
If I do, I don't know how to do it. I wouldn't do that anyway, but maybe you
Well,
can.
check into it because I've had it done to me, and
Oh.
it might have been the same person. I don't know, but somebody put like on panel how you can have below your name, you have some more stuff you can put. Have you seen that?
Yeah, actually, there's an edit name option. I don't know why. Why would someone do that? That's kind of fucked up.
Just to fucking be a dick. But anyway, somebody did that to Patrick. So whenever he gets on panel, underneath Patrick Rowe, it says weenie, and he doesn't know how to fix it.
Like part of me is like that's fucked up, but that's also funny.
He
It
deserves
is funny,
I mean,
and
that's
I'm telling it as a
deserves it.
joke because he may be listening, getting mad at me. But look, it happened to me. Somebody called me and put faggot under my name. I'm like, what the fuck is this? But I went backstage and I looked around and I fixed it.
Damn.
But Patrick, he even said on stream he can't figure it out. I don't know what that fucking weenie fucking crafting, he's fucking raging. But yeah, that's every time he goes somewhere, it says weenie.
Wow. Speaking of name, I do need to change my name. I've kind of shifted a little bit lately, and I'm no longer really center left. I don't know what to call myself though.
Moderate.
But I'm not moderate. I'm actually kind of. It depends on the issue. I'm still pro gun, which is weird for a
Right.
leftist. But I
You
am
know-
on the whole, I'm a lot further left than I kind of lead on, and I feel like I should be a little bit more direct because I'm not really center, honestly.
Well, then, Trump, that's why. But you know what? And that's like some of all this religion pops into my head. Dude, like me, you can win you win people over with honey. I don't walk up to a chick and say, "Look, baby, you need a shower, then we can fuck." I just try to instead I'd be like, "Look, I'm gonna take a shower, join me." But if your views are leftist, don't come on so headstrong. People get too headstrong with their beliefs.
That's true. So I'm you're right. I'm not thinking that extreme. So I don't want to be, I think that I'm very misleading right now. And it wasn't intentional because I've actually shifted. It's a natural progression. But I don't want to be like fucking hardcore communist, blah, 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 or anything like that. But I also want to be a little more honest. So it's kind of in the middle. But
Well, you can be honest with me. I don't care if we agree or disagree,
It will affect how people perceive it, and some people just won't even click because of the name. So that's something I do have to consider, and that's a problem. Like, I don't care what people think, like legitimately, but there is a but here. I do want to be able to get dissenting voices. I want people like yourself that disagree with me because I don't want a fucking echo chamber. So I have to think outside the box, or that'll happen.
Yeah,
So
I see what you're saying. Because you're gonna have a faction of people that like, center left, fuck this. They're gonna be like, oh, fuck this. I don't want to be involved with this. I mean,
right.
Consider it a good forum. This is where I prefer to go to chat. And like I said, typically it's not a fucking shit show here. It ain't a dumpster fire.
Sometimes it gets a little bit out of control, but
it does. And I'm gonna give you, for instance, next week, I could come on here and have this attitude or whatever, but I think I already told you, I'm not well versed. I've been raised in a fucking United States. I was given beliefs. I'm gonna come up and listen. I might have some opinions or a little smart ass remarks, but I'm not going to turn it to. I'm not going to turn it into a dumpster show, because sometimes people do that and they make themselves look like idiots, But it's all for their entertainment. You never know. I mean, I'm learning that.
That's the common thing, and that's intent is everything. So if I see things are getting out of control, but intent isn't to be a dick or to fucking hate, then I'll let it happen, and usually it'll correct itself. But if the intent, and you can tell, if someone comes on and they're just loud and boisterous and their whole fucking point is to just fucking piss people off, then I'm like, you need to cut that shit out. So shit can get out of control, but it can be natural, if that makes sense. Sometimes shit gets out of control just because we're human. Sometimes I get into a conversation about something I feel fucking strongly about because I think it matters in the grand scheme, and we get a little heated. That's okay. That's cool. As long as that's not like your whole fucking, like, it seems to be like by your behavior, the whole fucking point why you're there in the first place.
Well, I learned a new word, new phrase called stream killer. People want to stream hop, which is another word I learned. And then their sole intent is to be disruptive and kill a stream. And some of these people I've been having issues with, I met first on your stream. Like when that guy Gotti and a High Tech, they popped in and like, where's the money? Where's the money? I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I remember.
He's a fucking dick, he's an asshole, and he goes on, he's liked by some people. I don't know why, But man, why bounce around the streams and interrupt people's conversations and stuff? Why you get you? That's how you get your fucking fly.
Exactly. It's the same type of people that probably hate their life and they want any form of attention they can, and they've learned that like that Patrick Rowe type mentality, and he's not the worst, but that sort of thing gets views and attention, and then it becomes like a pattern. It becomes their behavior from then on. People feed that, and that's why I do my best not to feed that shit and not.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, because like sometimes I can be amused by it. Like sometimes Patrick Rowe's fucking funny just by being Patrick Rowe. Like
Absolutely.
sometimes it's
And
hilarious.
people will say that. You know, I say he's famous. Actually, some people are entertained, and oh yeah, Pat, my buddy Pat, you know, because he entertains people, you know.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think
And,
he's
you know-
always faking. He's kind of just naturally funny in some ways, and I think sometimes
Exactly.
we're laughing at him, not with him. But
That's
either way,
that's when it's sad. That's
He's
when
a
it's
chat
sad.
clown.
well, I
Yeah.
don't feel bad about it when a person is just constantly vitriolic and fucking attacking everyone. I don't feel like I don't agree with this saying that if you bully a bully, like to me, you can't bully a bully because intent's different. A bully is doing it for power trip and to like feel better about their shitty ego or whatever. But like
Right.
if you're attacking a bully, you're doing something. You're trying to dispense justice most of the time. Your intent is entirely different, which means you're not bullying. And I feel the same way. So like if sometimes you got to fight fire with fire, and that's what I've been saying. I know you're on the right, but just being honest here, like
No.
on the left, I have said for a while now, and now I'm very hardcore about it. We have to quit fucking playing by the rules, because Republicans don't play by the rules. And if we keep on doing this and keep on fucking like oh, we just scream and go, hey, they're not playing by the rules. Well, I'm sorry, but that's how it's going to stay because no one's doing anything about it.
Yep.
So you either fucking fight fire with fire or you lose over and over again. It's the only
Yeah.
way. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's
no,
Degradation of democracy.
You know, we're on different sides of the fence and all that. So look, there's one thing, Trumps, I'm willing to learn. You know, your words, do they hurt me or disgust me at times? I hate to use the word disgust, but yeah, maybe they do. But you know, and maybe it will get heated. And but dude, I do try to listen and I do try to learn. You
I'm
know,
the same.
and I got it into it with that guy. We steered clear of each other for the longest time. I was on panel talking to somebody one-on-one. He comes out of nowhere. Who are you questioning so and so? Are you wearing panties or something? And I just fucking cut loose on him. He wound up, you know, leaving or whatever. But dude, don't come up here. We're doing fine. We don't need you interrupting.
There's always
dude
going to be
doesn't
people
like
like
mine.
that, though. And the issue is sometimes people will, kind of like you brought up earlier, they'll say they don't care about views, but their actions show otherwise. Sometimes people will be like, we're going to keep that from happening. I'm sorry about that. But they really secretly, they enjoy it because it brings the numbers up. They don't give a fuck if people are offended. They care about numbers, and that's it. And that's why it matters that you have trust in your platform. Like,
Right.
it matters that people are actually fucking honest about what they claim to be there for and shit. But while we're at a stopping point, I hate to do this. It's literally
No. That's fine. We have
times now. It's 10 minutes after the last time I said that this time for real. I do have to go.
All right.
One, I'm about to piss myself. Two, I've got to deal with this cat because I'm kind of being selfish, and he's in pain right now, and I need to give him his medication. So,
all right. I'm gonna
You
see you
guys
next Friday.
I will see you next week. Remember, it's going to be more structured. It won't be completely loose.
Yeah.
We're gonna be talking about
Like I
something
said, I'm
specific.
gonna hang out. We'll see
right.
what happens. If I
All
get
right.
out of control, just kick me. All right,
I
Dad.
wouldn't
All right,
just
Rob.
kick you.
Later,
But-
guys.
All right.
Take it
Later.
easy, guys.
Later.